800-523-3771. 800-523-3771. Or go to SelectQuote.com. Since 1985, we shop, you save.
Get full details on the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Or price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
A man accused of setting fire to South Africa's Parliament building has appeared in court in Cape Town.
Zandile Christmas Mafe looked unkept and dazed. She arrived in court wearing shorts and a creased shirt. The 49-year-old faces charges of arson, theft, and housebreaking. The prosecutor alleged he was found with explosives at the time of his arrest. But his lawyer insists that his client is innocent and that the police have arrested the wrong person. The case has been postponed for 7 days for further investigation. In the meantime, firefighters have managed to contain the fire at the parliamentary precinct that raged for 2 days.
That's the BBC's Namsa Maseko reporting. After 10 months on strike, nurses at a Massachusetts hospital have voted to ratify a new 4-year contract. It includes staffing improvements, pay and health insurance boosts, and it gives striking nurses the right to return to their old jobs. News and analysis at townhall.com. Washington, D.C. and other areas along the East Coast are digging out from yesterday's snowstorm. National Weather Service meteorologist David Roth says the snow totals were pretty high in some areas.
There was a max of 10 to 16 from the higher terrain of South Carolina and North Carolina across northern Virginia, parts of, I guess that'd be east central Maryland, into, or some of its eastern shore, some of it isn't, through Delaware, and I think even southern Jersey.
Federal offices in the nation's capital were closed yesterday, where several inches of snow fell. A new poll shows only about 4 in 10 Republicans recall the January 6th U.S. Capitol attack as very violent or extremely violent. Overall, about 2/3 of Americans describe that day as very or extremely violent. More at srnnews.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio. Yeah!
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Tuesday, everybody. The second work day of 2022. Hope all of you are having a wonderful day so far. I think temps are going to be a little warmer than yesterday. I mean, to be honest, you know, as the sun came out, that was once the sun came out, it was nicer yesterday. But till that happened, oh boy, it's kind of chilly. Today we're supposed to be a lot warmer. We're supposed to be like in upper 60s today. But I'll get you up to date on all the weather and all that here in just a little bit. You know, it's funny. Of course, anybody that's listened to this show for any length of time knows that I'm a fan of the Washington football team, and I don't know if I'm some kind of masochist for still liking this team, but here I sit. And anyway, they posted on their social media this morning, about 45 minutes ago or so, and they just put the date 2/2/22. And as a fan of this team and been following them, one would assume that that's the date they're announcing the new name of the football club, the franchise here. So that's kind of what they're teasing there. Anybody know what 22 is? February the 2nd? It's Groundhog Day. The Washington football team picked Groundhog Day as the day to announce the new name of their team. Why don't they just pick April Fool's Day? I mean, you want to send out this is why this football team can't get out of its own way. Just every time they try to make progress, they go back. Like, for instance, and this is just the most recent debacle of debacles, they wanted to have a Sean Taylor Day. You're like, who's Sean Taylor? And if you're a football fan, you probably know who he is. But you didn't know. But he was a team for the Redskins that was beloved, and his life was tragically cut short when he was killed during a home invasion in his home in Florida about, 10 years ago. I don't remember the exact date. But anyway, actually, it's probably longer than that. It was when Joe Gibbs. It's probably been 20 years. But anyway, they wanted to do a Sean Taylor Day at the stadium. You know, he's beloved by fans, and they botched that all up. They put his number on the field and then had like Patrick Mahomes' brother dance all over it. It was just bad, and they let him do it. I mean, I don't know. It was. And then they gave like no notice to fans that they were going to do it, and then it was just a debacle. Like Washington had to apologize for it, and they have a history of this. That's not new. That's just the latest in their shenanigans. But I saw this and I said, well, that's February. That's Groundhog. Of course, this team picked Groundhog Day to announce the new name of their team. I just found it a bit poetic. That's what they chose. I just saw it right before I started in there, so I had to get that out of my head real quick. But that was funny. Anyway, so maybe I did see in the comments when people are talking about it. Since we're announcing on Groundhog Day, maybe we'll stick with a Groundhog Day movie theme, and we can call ourselves the Washington Ned Ryersons. Remember Ned Ryerson, guy selling insurance? Ned Ryerson, yeah, him. That guy. If you didn't watch Groundhog Day, that went right over your head. Let me give you the rundown for today's show. Here in just a few minutes, we're going to have Robert Sherman join us from the Walker Aviation Museum, give us an update on what's happening over there. I'm guessing they might have been a little busy over the holidays with people traveling and flights getting canceled and things like that. That may have brought him a little bit more of a captive audience, but we'll talk with Robert about that here a little bit. In the 8 o'clock hour, about 8:15, we're going to replay an interview Sean had last Wednesday with Lori Schatz from Roswell Kiwanis and Schatz Productions talking about John Denver show coming up in February. Now's the time to get your tickets. I'm pretty sure that show's going to sell out. So anyway, we're going to replay that conversation for you. And then we'll chit-chat in the 9 o'clock hour about just stuff in general, life in general. Sean's doing his show remotely this morning once again. And Tanner's back here, so maybe Tanner and I will chit-chat about something. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what floats off the head by them. Plus, we'll have all of your features that include the news of the local, national variety, and, of course, all of our other features, Kim Commando, Sean Hannity, all that good stuff, and whatever else we can come up with for today's show. Before we do any of that stuff, though, let's go ahead and get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We have high pressure in place, so things look fair for the next couple of days and pretty comfortable temperatures. And then we have another cold front that'll be cooling things off on Thursday. No rain or snow expected for the next few days. Mid-60s and sunshine today. Down to 30 and clear for the overnight hours. And then we're looking at mid-60s and sunshine again on Wednesday. Only 50 on Thursday. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 20 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 65%. Winds currently out of the north at 5 miles per hour. As Steve mentioned, a pretty pleasant day today. Winds or sunny, highs of 67 expected. Winds out of the north 5 to 10 this morning, and they'll pick up and shift to the west for this afternoon, 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, clear skies, looking at an overnight low right at 30 degrees. Winds will be out of the west, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Still hanging in the mid-60s tomorrow. Sunny, highs right around 64. North winds 5 to 10 miles per hour, shifting to the south tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow night, skies will be clear with an overnight low of 28. Winds out of the southwest at around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Thursday, we will see a change in the temps. We'll see about a 20 degree drop here, 15 to 20 degree drop. Sunny skies, highs only near 49 on Thursday. Winds will be out of the north, 10 to 15 miles per hour. Clear skies Thursday night with an overnight low of 23. Friday, we're back up into the mid-60s. Sunny skies, highs once again right around 64. Saturday, it's going to be warm. Expect highs near 70 under sunny skies, and then cooling back down to the mid-50s on Sunday, mostly sunny, 56. So little roller coastery to finish off the week, but pretty pleasant, mid-60s next couple days here. All right, it is 14 minutes after 7 o'clock. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and take a quick 2-minute commercial break. And then on the other side of the break, Robert Sherman will join us from the Walker Aviation Museum. We'll talk all about the museum on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Pecans are a big deal here in Chaves County. We have some of the biggest orchards in the country, and lots of us have pecan trees in our yards. Hi, this is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company. Whether you have one pecan tree or 1,000 of them, this time of year, every pecan tree needs fertilizing. So come see us at Roswell Seed Company, and we'll get you fixed up with the right fertilizer for your pecan trees, so that next year, your nuts will be big and beautiful. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
Wakefield Oil Company is a name you can rely on with full service at the pump the way it used to be. You can expect service in just 15 seconds. They offer bulk fuel and oil services and even diesel exhaust fluid. Wakefield Oil Company will deliver to farms, ranches, dairies, the oil fields, and more with dependable service you can count on. So the next time you need service or delivery, go with the name that locals have trusted since 1983. Wakefield Oil Company, 311 South Virginia in Roswell. Let them earn your business.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard has led to a lot of firsts for me. The education assistance I received made it possible for me to be the first person in my family to go to school and graduate debt-free. That education helped get me to the first day at my dream job, a job that I can still hold while I serve part-time. That job, plus the other benefits possible from the Army National Guard, helped me become a first-time homeowner. Also, part of my role as a National Guard soldier means I know that I can be one of the first to respond and help my community if disaster ever strikes. I'm extremely proud that I get to serve my community, and that first step I took by joining the Army National Guard has made all the difference in my life. Talk to your local recruiter or visit nationalguard.com to find out what firsts are available to you in the Army National Guard.
Sponsored by the New Mexico Army National Guard. Aired by the New Mexico Broadcasters Association and this station.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. You burn more calories sleeping than you do watching television. For the ultimate workout, fall asleep in front of the TV. Here's Mike Winters.
That's why I'm sculpted so finely tuned with my Buddha my keg pack. Good morning. It is 16 minutes after 7 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from the Walker Aviation Museum, Robert Sherman back with us. First time in the new year here. Good morning.
That's right.
Happy New Year to you.
Same to you.
Yeah, how's life treating you?
Good.
Good deal.
Could be better in that, we've got some issues. We're trying to get open full time.
Okay.
So what we're doing is myself and Bob Donnell and possibly some other folks going to be going out, opening it up for maybe an hour and a half prior to the noon takeoff.
Okay.
And that's changed from 11:28 to 1:30 starting today.
Oh.
So we try to run out there today, for example. Bob's going to be out there about 12 noon until a little after 1:30 after the plane leaves and the place gets all deserted again.
Quiet again. Yeah. It goes from 100 miles an hour to zero pretty quickly there, doesn't it?
By the way, you're talking about Groundhog Day. What day is that coming up?
February 2nd.
February 2nd.
Yes.
That's still a way off.
Yeah, we got a month away.
Well, another thing for the audience to know, this is really an important date. Thursday, the 6th of January is National Rubber Ducky Day.
Ooh. All I can think of is Bert and Ernie now. Rubber ducky, you're the
That's
one.
right. I saw that and I said, seriously? I have to find me a rubber ducky, I guess.
Well, I'm sure big rubber duckies, they're the ones that created that holiday.
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh, man. Well, for folks that aren't familiar, the Walker Aviation Museum is located inside the air terminal at the Roswell Air Center. And it is a museum that pays homage to Roswell Army Airfield and Walker Air Force Base that was located right there at the south end of town here up until the 60s there. And also pays homage to this area's role during the Cold War era and dealing with the missile silos and things that Roswell or called several home for Roswell here around the area. So
right.
It's really it's really a cool museum. If you've never been in there, I highly recommend you make a trip out to the airport there. Right now, maybe hang out during the flight schedule, during the midday flight schedule, and come on down and check out the museum.
And usually we've got this large TV screen going and shows, maybe the history of the B-29 and some of the issues that are going on with that. And then also we have a couple touchscreen computers now, like they have down at the UFO Museum, where you walk in and just touch it.
Okay.
And you get a little 2.5-minute history of Walker, and you touch the other screen, you get about a 2.5-minute history of the Atlas missile.
Okay.
And we're waiting for Alan Trevor to come in and add about 4 more items so that you have a choice of 3 things to look at
like
per
a menu.
screen.
Okay, cool.
Right, yeah.
Very cool. That's great. So more technology coming into the museum here. I'm curious, with the flight cancellations and all that kind of stuff, did that increase traffic a little bit to the airport for you?
Well,
visitors?
when we were out there, we haven't been out there too much, like I was saying. We don't have the employees right now. We were looking at hiring someone through the Goodwill Industries.
Okay.
And they provide the salary for them and everything, but we found out that they have to have supervision the whole time they're there.
Gotcha.
So now we're back. Okay, who's gonna be the supervisor and run out there? So we only have about 8 folks in our board right now, but we've got some other things I'll talk about.
Okay.
We may get some other people, and right now.
And I guess you're looking for some volunteers to come be a part of the museum.
Yes, actually we are, and we've got some people that have called us up and said they'd be glad to.
All right.
Maybe come out for I'll go out on Monday and Thursday, and someone will come out on Wednesday and whatever.
Get a rotating
at
schedule.
Least get it open for a little bit when folks are milling around. And when we've been out there, 4 or 5 times, we've got maybe anywhere from maybe 5 to 10 people coming in, just kind of, and they like what they see.
Yeah.
And it's worked out pretty good.
Yeah, it's a great. You get a chance if you're a person that loves talking to people and kind of being a bit of an ambassador for our community. Then we'd love to have you come volunteer. If it's a couple hours a week or more or less, we'd love to have you.
Yeah, wafbmuseum.org. Before I'll mention that again later, but
sure,
that's our website. And go to Amazon Smile. When you're buying something on Amazon, we get just a little tiny bit of that money.
Yeah.
Doesn't cost you anything, but
yeah, there's the Amazon Smile program for folks that have gone through that. Yeah, there's a lot of organizations across the world that utilize that, and Walker Aviation Museum. If you go to the wafbmuseum.org website, you'll find the Amazon Smile link there. You click on that, and then I encourage you to bookmark it. That way, every time you go to Amazon, you click on that bookmark, and then every time you make a purchase at Amazon, a few pennies off of that purchase amount go towards the Walker Aviation Museum. Doesn't cost you any extra money. It's on Jeff Bezos' side. He's the one giving up the pennies there, and you can help out the museum. And you get enough people doing that, at the end of the month, the museum will get a nice little check each month to help with operating costs and whatever they need it for. So
yeah,
good way to help out. Very easily way to help out too.
The couple things. Historical briefing today. I'm going to just give a little rundown on the Cold War and Walker.
Okay.
with that. And some other news going on. We've kind of, at least Bob and I and maybe some other folks, were joining forces with Civil Air Patrol, Joseph Bellasini,
cool.
Tom Clark, Stanley Nelson. I'm going to join and become a senior member, instructor, or whatever, for some of the stuff I used to teach and stuff. So, and also we're teaming up with EAA, Experimental Aircraft Association. So between Experimental Aircraft Association, Civil Air Patrol, and the Walker Aviation Museum, as far as the aviation side, we thought we could work as a team better than just separately.
Absolutely.
Getting the youth in Roswell to get interested in aircraft or aviation in general.
Sure. Everyone in that group have the same end game there,
right.
The same goals. They want to do that. So, that's together you're stronger. Let's do that. Absolutely.
And, of course, we're going to continue. Very important, the history of Walker and all that. But at the same time, we've shifted some of our emphasis into science, technology, engineering, and math.
Sure.
So when we we've had so far about, as people may not know, we got a $10,000 grant from Xcel Energy recently. Thank you, Xcel. And we installed 2 flight simulators. They're called EduStations. They're made by STEM Pilot Incorporated.
Okay.
And you can find that at stempilot.com. But anyway, so far we've had about 46 youth and 11 adults come out. And what we do in that program for that part is we give them a quick little history.
Mm-hmm.
We show them that 2-minute thing of the history of Walker and show them some other items. And then we break them up and kind of get them oriented what we're going to be doing on the flight simulators. And then we break them into 2 groups. Ideal size, and I was talking to Bob yesterday, is about 8 students at a time.
Okay.
So we can get 4 on the 2 simulators, a pilot and a co-pilot, and then they can trade positions. But we can do up to 12.
Okay.
So we do 6 and 6. But we break them up, and while the half of them are on the flight simulators, practicing taxiing and takeoff and then just flight, fundamentals of flight.
Sure.
The other half are getting 11 YouTube briefings on all the way from the Venn diagram on determining, what's your best career to maybe pursue in the future, as well as 10 other 3 to 5 minute YouTube videos on 10 different careers.
Okay.
All the way from the day in the life of a wind turbine technician, or do you want to be a registered nurse? Do you want to be a oil field or engineer and auto mechanic, aircraft mechanic, other type of stuff.
Gotcha. So, all the things where that STEM engineering and
we hope to, by doing that, we kind of stimulate something like, wow, I hadn't thought about doing that. I could do that. And we're trying to coordinate with Crumlin Auto Group here with the auto, mechanic, because they've got a good program with Eastern.
Absolutely.
And hopefully get maybe a video from them rather than just a generic video we found on YouTube. But we can, when we do that, we tell them that Crumlin has a program here.
Sure.
And
and
maybe some other auto
there.
Companies here get a hold of us.
Absolutely,
and have
the more
thing.
the merrier. Absolutely. Right. Or obviously some of our industrial, Dean Baldwin's and things in the, if they're wanting to get involved in that side, that would be great too. Maybe even law enforcement, the sheriffs or police or both. That there's certainly a lot of STEM stuff related in that, the science of police work too. So,
yeah.
Absolutely.
And then when they get through on the way out, we give them, at least 3 sheets of paper. And, actually while I put the kids to work, when I say kids, they're younger than me, which is not saying much, but, we have a bunch of clipboards and some stuff. So when they're watching these little videos, they rate them, they put them down. What is your age? And are you male or female? And then as they see a particular video, they rate it 1 through 5.
Okay.
1 is like, this was totally useless. I hated it, whatever.
Sure.
Or 5 is like, wow, this is really, really great. So that when we get through and they leave, we can look at that and see, maybe we need to get rid of this video here and get it up. And then also I ask the adults when they're there, if you're on, website and you find a interesting STEM career video that's 3 to 5, 6 minutes long, give us a call or send it, to our email.
Put it on our radar here.
Yeah, it's on our radar, and we'll check it out, and maybe we'll change it and put that on there.
Absolutely. And it also kind of gives you a gauge, because I imagine, each one's different, dealing with different career fields and things.
Right.
The interest level of the career field in the children's eyes would kind of reflect that scoring too a little bit, where obviously a job that's got pilot's going to look a lot sexier to a child than say working on a oil field rig. You know what I mean? Just watching that video, you see the pilot and he's flying a plane. The kid's gonna be like, "Whoa, plane!" And then so I imagine some of that comes into play.
Yeah, the one on the aircraft mechanic is this gal that used to be in the Air Force or in the Army.
Okay,
worked on helicopters.
All right,
and she's now a certified aircraft mechanic, but it's a woman.
Okay.
So it's kind of like, women sitting there thinking, this is not only for guys.
Yeah.
It could be for girls.
And I hate to burst their bubble, but there's been women mechanics in the military for a long time.
Women pilots now, too.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's
navigators and whatever.
That's been gender fluid. I don't know if that's the right term anymore, but I have no idea. But long. You want a history on how to make things gender fluid? Go watch the military. They've been doing it for a lot longer than I guess civilians have been thinking about this stuff. But
right. And then when they the folks leave, we hand them 3 sheets of paper. One sheet is a list of all the YouTube career stuff that we found, highlighted that they saw, but about maybe 50 other ones. And then we give them and then also some YouTube videos on aircraft, flight and pilots, and shows them flying different aircraft.
Sure.
All the way from the SR-71 to U-2 to B-50, aircraft refueling each other, whatever.
Nice.
And so then we give them another sheet of paper that has about 130 or so STEM careers on it. And I say at the top, you go home, get on your computer, check out YouTube on these subjects, and you might find some videos dealing with this particular STEM career.
So that way it kind of gives them a gateway to do their own research and decision making, and say, hey, I want to check more out about this, because really that's what will happen in theory once you get the bug, the plant set there, so to speak, and you've got that seed in there percolating. You got to let it grow, and that's how you do it. Is they when you see them doing their own with initiative on trying to gather more information about it, then you're like, the seed has been planted, it's sprouting. So that's great that you guys say, all right, does that look cool? Well, here, when you get home, check this out and see more about how cool this is, and then hopefully they get bit and they're on their own searching for more videos and resources for that.
And then the third sheet of paper is for folks that are really, really interested in flying or maybe being a pilot.
Mm-hmm.
We have a list of about 13, actually they're professional videos on YouTube that run anywhere from 10 minutes to 25 minutes long. It's 13 hours of training, and it covers, for example, there's an hour, 3 videos, 20 minutes long of on aircraft instruments. And then they got on aircraft related weather. There's maybe an hour's worth of stuff there.
Nice.
And so they can go down through this, and this is, if you watch that whole thing all the way to stuff that how it affects your body and response like that. So
by the time that they go for formal training in this, they'll be well versed in some of the instrumentation and technology.
Because they take instruments and they show you why you need this and go into real detail, and it's really professionally done. So
that's great.
Yeah.
See, they can teach anything on YouTube.
So when
nowadays.
they leave, they got a lot of homework they can do if they want to.
Sure, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, but you're right. There's no joke. They really. You can learn anything on YouTube. It's like there's a YouTube for it. People are like, how do you fix a cabinet? There's a YouTube video. How do you fly a plane? Just go, there's a YouTube video on that.
Oh, no. Kid came up to our door the other day, and it's a friend of ours, and he says, can you fix he got a new mountain bike that has disc brakes that are the hydraulic, on a bicycle. And so I said, I don't know, let's go to YouTube. Sure enough, there's like 2-3 videos on how to adjust your disc brakes on a, number one, are they hydraulic? No, if they're not, and then you got another one. So you can.
Man, you got to take your bicycles to Meineke or something now to get the brakes done on them. Disc brakes and.
So anyway, you're right.
That's crazy. That's really cool. So now if families are interested in getting their kid involved in doing the flight simulator program, is it just reach out to you guys or pretty much or?
Yeah, reach out.
Okay.
Normally what we're working through right now, just to give you a rundown.
Mm-hmm.
So like I said, we've had about 46 youth and 11 adults come through so far. We had a bunch of homeschoolers just a few weeks ago come through, but we've had groups of we got Marinda Middle School is coming out in about another week and a half with about a group of students, and we're going to think we're going to break them in two groups. And while one half goes to maybe Aircell or to the university, the other half will be there, and then they flip flop over and eat lunch and stuff.
Very cool. Well, I do want to ask, like, if folks are youth groups, things like that, are interested, is there probably an age appropriate or you know?
Yeah, that's definitely, we discovered that really quick on. If you get someone that's like 12 years old, a flight simulator is a big game.
Okay.
And they want to immediately take off, and they want to change airplanes, and they want to fly upside down and crash and see what happens. And,
right.
Rather than being serious about trying to look at the instruments.
Sure. And actually fly a plane.
Right. And fly it and take off. And
they want it to be an arcade
do what
game,
you're supposed to do. Yeah. So we've generally looking at, 7th, 8th graders to high school.
Okay.
And right now we're coordinating, and we have coordinated already with Sidney Gutierrez Charter School, Roswell Independent School District, of course.
Great.
And Ruben Bolaños out there with the STEM stuff. But anyway, Gateway School, All Saints Catholic School, Assurance Home, Civil Air Patrol, and Experimental Aircraft Association, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, New Mexico Youth Challenge. I went over there when they get the new class come in. We want to get some of those.
So you got a pretty good base there covered there.
Several churches we've gone to and said, you guys got buses, come in, just let us know. We can come out in the evening.
Okay.
And youth groups. So anyway, that's kind of what we're looking at. And this is open. Dexter, Hagerman, Artesia.
Yeah, we these are Roswell, but yeah, this is, if you're
we're kind of looking at a regional.
Yeah, Chavez County or, maybe even to Eddy County, some there want to come up and, obviously the impact. And the other thing, too, is we're talking, this is STEM-based things, but at the same time, you're here at the base. You're here at the spot where all the history we're talking about happened. And hopefully some of that rubs off on these kids, too. And it's like, right in this spot, these were World War II aircraft were sitting right out in that tarmac out here in front of you and all that. And just,
we had 24 of Sierra Middle School. I think I mentioned that maybe last month.
Mm-hmm.
And 12 at a time. And that was pretty tiring, but about 2 hours with each group. And then they met out in front. It was still fairly warm. They were eating their little sack lunches. So we all walked out there to talk to them, and I looked at the bus driver, and I said, "Get your butt in." No, I said, "Come on in here and fly a simulator." So we got the bus driver to come on in and got him on the flight simulator while the kids were eating lunch. And
nice.
So anyway, that was kind of fun.
Yeah, that's cool. So, reach out to the museum here. Obviously, adults listening here that are saying, you know what, I'd love to spend some time at the museum here volunteering to work. That would be great, too. Like I said, you need more folks to kind of serve as docents a little bit there at the museum. But if that's not your thing, but you love organizing and cataloging and helping that kind of stuff, they could use a lot of help on that. There's, that's the thing about a museum is you kind of collect things.
We got everything up kind of and running, except we have this one room that was a storage room that we've turned into. It's going to be the Atlas display, and that is not up yet because we've just kind of got everything else rolling, but we've got to get that going. So.
Sure. And then, of course, looking for more to serve on the board as well, looking for some fresh faces and ideas to be a part of the veteran group that's there right now. So would love to have some.
Yeah, and if you want to, get your encourage through your schools and stuff, that's kind of what we're trying to do is work it with that area. But, we're open for adults to look at the flight simulators too, but it's not something that when people walk in, that's another thing I didn't mention, that when people just walk in, since they're pretty complex and we don't want people just use them as toys.
Sure.
It's basically the flight simulators are for youth.
Yeah.
And for an educational purpose.
Yeah, this isn't something you put out in front of the grocery store and put 2 quarters in it and sit on it for 10 minutes. No. This is a little bit more complex.
And then the other thing that I didn't mention, when they leave, besides handing them those sheets of paper, they can go home and do their homework. We give them a little card, like a business card, that says on the back, it has a picture of a flight cockpit, on the front card. You roll it over and it says, I am an Edustation pilot. And then we put their name.
Okay.
And then they can put the date they came in and the number. Because we have a roster that when a person comes in, we keep their first name only.
Okay.
And basically what grade they were in. So they can come back once we're open full time.
Sure.
And show them the card. Says, oh, you've been introduced to the Edustation. There they are. Go ahead and help yourself and go back. And
it's kind of like a membership into the club.
Yeah, because they can select all kinds of scenarios, fly 50 different aircraft, land any place in the world.
So, kids, if you're listening and you're thinking, I want to be a pilot when I grow up, now, through your own accord here, you can go and in essence, get simulator time long before you start any kind of formal training here. So once you're at an appropriate age to start the formal training, you're already 12 steps ahead of the game because, in essence, you've got some seat time in a simulator.
And if you watch that 13 hours of stuff on YouTube, you're really up to speed on a lot of stuff.
Absolutely. You might even be able to, knowledge-wise, to skip a few classes.
Maybe replace the teacher.
Yeah.
No, just kidding.
Certainly would definitely make it a lot easier for you to comprehend and understand it when it comes to the formal training side.
Yeah.
So,
just
absolutely.
a quick rundown. I did that before, but the 10 STEM careers that we have that show the youth when they come in is science, technology, and math overview of careers. Okay, as careers in aviation, a day in the life of a wind turbine technician, what it's like to be an aircraft mechanic, energy careers. Next one is oil well worker career. What does a registered nurse do? ? Architectural engineering versus architecture. What's the difference? How to become an automotive mechanic and roughnecks at work and a drilling rig connection. That's kind of fun because it shows these guys changing pipes and mud squirting everywhere. And it's kind of like, seriously?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Pretty wild.
That one.
That one's kind of not necessarily STEM.
Yeah.
But it's jobs that are going on around the area. That's kind of interesting.
It's like, and I don't know, but you watch movies and a lot of the careers you just talked about, they show a version of it in movies. The pilots, you Top Gun and nurse, you always think of like ER, these other shows like that. And oil derrick, they always show like either it's on the coastal, like the shore rigs, but whenever time they show it, it's always like this big adventure of just, it's like living on the edge kind of with just the way the orchestration of moving the parts and getting everything going. And I feel like they enhance all of that in Hollywood. But if any of those kind of sort of come close to what it's like in real life, I feel like it's probably the oil derricks and those ones there because that's really it's hard work, but it is kind of a bit of a dance the way they do it and who's where and how it's done. And
I know. They're showing how these three guys are working at the pipes and then one guy over at the controls.
Yeah, it's really the ultimate.
Throwing these chains around the pipe and it tightens up and then turns and they have these big wrenches they connect the pipes.
Yeah.
And one pulls one way, one pulls the other way, and they're pulled by chains and cables. You're thinking, man, you just lose a finger here. Just like,
sure.
You've got to really be careful what you're doing.
But that teamwork and that precision's key on all of that stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah, to me that's pretty fascinating. But yeah, so again, you can check that out if anybody's interested in those career fields, youth-wise. Check the video out. Make sure that's what you want to really do. So.
Do we have time to run over a quick history of the Cold War?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. A little quick history. March 21st, 1946, the Army Air Forces gave a newly formed Strategic Air Command the responsibility of delivering atomic bombs in the event of war. In April 1946, several of the 509th Composite Group B-29s were deployed to Kwajalein as part of an Operation Crossroads, which was a series of atomic bomb tests in the Marshall Islands in the Pacific. And that came out of Walker. Starting in May 1946, the 393rd, 715th, and 830th Bombardment Squadrons in the 509th, assigned to Roswell, were the only atomic bomb mission-ready squadrons in Strategic Air Command.
Wow.
And in September of 1947, the U.S. Army Air Corps became the United States Air Force. And in January 48, the Roswell Army Airfield became Walker Air Force Base.
Okay.
And 30 June 1948, the 509th Air Refueling Squadron was activated as part of the 509th Bomb Wing, and is one of the first refueling units ever created. And using the KB-29M tankers, the 509th, at that time, the bombers could virtually reach any target on Earth because of the refueling.
Sure.
The 6th Bomb Wing was activated 2 January 1951 at Walker, which was equipped with the B-29 and the KB-29M tanker. And in January 54, KC-97 tanker was replaced by the KB-29Ms, and those started to be replaced by the KC-135, which are still in service today.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So in theory, they could run the entire mission out of Walker here with the refuelers and the bombers.
They could take off and fly to any target on the Earth.
And all done right out of Walker Air Force Base.
Right.
Interesting.
And the 3 squadrons of the 6th Bomb Wing, the 24th, 39th, and 40th, were equipped with the heavy bomber, the B-36 Peacekeeper. You know, I had 6 of those big prop engines and the 4 jet engines.
Yeah.
My mother knows that well because as they would take over our house where we lived over in South Adams when I was in high school, the vibration would sometimes shake off little things off of her piano.
I'm sure there was neighborhoods there that knew that plane very well.
Of course, me, I didn't care. I love it. I run out there and I was looking up in the sky and saying, that was pretty interesting.
Oh, yeah. Kids loved it. Probably moms, not so much.
Yeah, that's true. June 1955, Walker received an all-jet B-47 bomber, and the B-47s left with the 509th, which left to go to Pease Air Force Base in New Hampshire in 1958.
Okay.
So they left to Walker. And Walker started receiving the B-52, which are still in service today, in 1957, with a phase-out of the B-36 that same year, 1957, and the B-52s remained at Walker until closure.
Okay, so they were there about 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the construction of the 12 Atlas intercontinental ballistic missile silos, Atlas F missile, that was started same year I graduated from high school, 1961.
Okay.
Because I remember that was really going on big time. And they completed all the sites, and all 12 ICBMs were on alert status by October 62. And that was the Cuban Missile Crisis time frame.
Okay.
And were deactivated in 1965, and the base closed in 67 due to Vietnam budget considerations. So
yeah.
So anyway, that's the end of that.
Interesting.
Quick shot of.
I didn't realize that they were at one point the only nuke-capable base in the Strategic Air Command.
That was kind of right after the war there. Yeah.
So basically, if that call came, guess it's all coming out of Roswell. Now, I would imagine there was probably some commands in the Pacific Theater and the European Theater, those things. But when it came to here in our country, that's pretty. I did not know that. I didn't realize it was the only.
Well, at the beginning, later on.
Yeah, they added more, but it was the first and only nuke base there
because
the
the bombers that dropped in Japan, they came back to Walker.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, it makes sense, and I got to be honest. To this day, it kind of baffles me why it's still not an Air Force base. I mean, I don't know all the ins and outs of Air Force, decision making, but I would imagine, the airspace, the runways, the facilities, that if they maintained them, I just feel like that was an ideal location to do a lot of this stuff that they want to do. But I obviously don't know the game plan. But you would have, to me, I just see the assets that were available at this base and what it did, and I'm kind of surprised it failed to base closures. But who do I know? That was a different decision at a different time.
That's right.
I mean. I guess we didn't, because you look now, because to be honest, we've been on the Cannon Air Force Base has been on the chopping block 1 or 2 times. I believe Kirtland was. Holloman, not so much. I don't think you'll ever see Holloman be on base closure, just because the amount of stuff that goes on out there. A lot of it, in my opinion, I don't think the public even knows about. Like they got a whole weather squadron out there. And in my head, I think it's Weather Squadron. I got air quotes up. I'm just saying. Yeah. I think there's some way more important stuff going on over there. That's just my opinion.
By the way, Steve Griffin was a retired Navy weather guy. He was in the weather a long time. He brought out a nice big collection. He's got it all mounted on the wall of professional weather instruments. And when we have a tour, and he tries to get out there and he gives them a quick briefing on the on the weather. This really cool weather equipment.
Okay.
And he's really excited about that. And we have to say, okay, Steve, back off.
Reel it in.
Yeah, reel it in, no, but he's great.
That's great.
And he may be one of the people come out and help us with some other tours.
Good.
Let me, before we get move on, thank some of our supporters.
Absolutely.
Excuse me. Roswell Toyota, Xcel Energy, Pioneer Bank, Featherstone Development, and several individuals, some doctors, Phil Cathy and Paul Engstrom and Lloyd Hughes. Glenn's Furniture gave us some furniture stuff.
Oh,
and
wow.
Airsail has been a big supporter in the past. So we're getting ready to have probably our golf thing in May on Forces Day, coming up in May 2022.
So put that on your radars. If you supported the golf scramble in the past, love to have you back. If you're like, wait, can I do that? Yes, you can. We can get you a sponsorship. I love the Walker Air Force Base Museum golf scramble because I love, not only is it a fundraiser, but it does pay homage to our veterans and to people that sponsor, like to put at the boxes and things pictures of veterans and their family and things. And so you get to learn about some of the people of our past too a little bit, and I love that side of it. So.
Our email is Walker A Museum. Like, instead of saying Walker Aviation Museum, we just said Walker, WALKER, A is in Alpha, museum @gmail.com.
Very good. And of course, the website is wafbmuseum.org.
Right.
There you will find the contact information. If you don't remember everything, you'll find contacts there.
Right.
But if you'd like to donate money directly, you'll find a link there too. If you want to reach out about any of the programs or like to be a volunteer or serve in any other capacity with the museum, you'll find the information for you to be able to do that there at the website as well. And also, don't forget, you'll find the link to the Amazon Smile tab.
And we've opened up the idea, and I haven't talked to the city manager yet, but they have Roswell has a big card table with a bunch of stuff they sell out there in the hallway.
Yeah.
And we're looking at maybe why can't we team up with them if they could move that table inside. It kind of depends on where we're going to be open and stuff, so they don't have to download everything and pack it up every day and then come back and put it up.
Gotcha.
We could just have it there as part of our gift shop, maybe right out of the museum. But we'll see how that works out.
Save them some time and maybe use each other to drum up some more visitors and things to come by. So,
correct.
Yeah, I like that. Absolutely.
By the way, I've been out there to eat in that little restaurant's open now.
Yeah.
They got a killer breakfast burrito. I go out there and
awesome. Yeah. I went out there because I flew to Maryland here over the holidays here, and I saw. Unfortunately, I didn't have time to go because once I got there and everything, I was supposed to, like, my sheet said we're leaving at 6:50, and it was actually at 6:30, so I got there about 5:30, and by the time I got checked in and got in line to get in the TSA, I didn't have time to walk over there and grab something to eat. But it did look good from over. It's the same company that does food services at the college.
Yeah,
there.
right.
And I've had their burritos over at the college, and they are a 10.
Yeah.
So if it's anything like those, then you're in good hands. And it sounds like, Robert,
it's kind of like it's kind of egg with over easy, but they kind of roll it over and then wrap it in there. And it had bacon or sausage, whatever you say. I select bacon and potatoes and green chili and cheese. And so I had to go back and tell the cook, where's that cook? I want to talk to him. I said, good job. I brought up here, lived here. Said, this is one of the best burritos I've ever had. So,
nice. All right. Challenge accepted. Sounds like you're going to go have breakfast down at the airport this morning.
And then swing on over. Hopefully we'll be open. Come to the museum.
Have a burrito and a tour.
Yeah.
A B&T.
A burrito and a tour. There you go. Good idea.
Do the B&T special. Very good. Well, Robert, as always, appreciate the visit here. And folks, come check it out. Come check out the museum. Come out today. Look about noon or so.
Is school going right now? Or is it?
Yes, they're back to school.
Today?
Yeah, they went back yesterday.
Oh,
so
okay.
They're back in classes today.
So if you got any adults out there, talk to your kids, talk to your teachers, and coordinate with us. And especially if you're that age group, 8th grade ideal, 8th through 12.
8 on up. 8 on up. There's 7th
we can handle 7th graders, but it's just the older because we talk about careers, and sometimes they're more focused on careers.
Absolutely, and obviously the vocabulary might be a little bit more understandable and things to someone in 7th grade versus a child in 4th
also
grade.
give them a quick shot of some Roswell history, too.
There you go. Hit them all with it. So, awesome. Well, thank you very much. Happy New Year to you.
Same to you.
And we'll see you next time, all right?
Next month.
Yeah, as is, unless something changes big time. It is 7:52. Let's pause for some local news. Kim Commando, quick break as well. Don't go away.
Now for a Pecos Valley news update, I'm Jared Cirillo. Chavez County Sheriff's deputies continue investigating a shooting incident that took place just after midnight on Sunday. According to a statement on Facebook, Sheriff Mike Harrington said deputies responded to 2705 East 17th Street, east of Roswell, after learning that a man had been shot in the leg. The unnamed victim was taken to an area hospital where he is recovering today. Later in the day on Sunday, detectives located 2 suspects believed to have been involved, along with the gun believed to have been used in the crime. Both were arrested and are being held in jail. Republican State Representative Alonzo Baldonado of Los Lunas is retiring from the New Mexico legislature after a decade of advocacy for a district in central New Mexico and socially conservative causes. A spokesman for House Republicans announced Baldonado's departure on Friday in a news release. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo reporting.
Today, the mother of all conspiracy theories. I'm Kim Commando, brought to you by T-Mobile. Their advanced network now goes farther than ever before. Visit T-Mobile.com/55 today. A startup microchip company called Disruptive Subdermals has developed a tiny microchip that's implanted just under the skin on the top of your hand. The chip is pre-programmed to hold all the details of your COVID vaccine history, a kind of electronic COVID passport of sorts. The company also manufactures low-cost handheld scanners for business, public places, and anywhere that requires you to be vaccinated. And there's more. The company's working on a similar chip that measures your body to detect fever. Now, this story in and of itself is not a conspiracy theory. It's real. But when you combine it with the biblical stories of the mark of the beast, or any of that, you indeed have the mother of all conspiracy theories. If you'd like to read more, just Google the company. It's called Disruptive Subdermals. Its CEO says that the chip is coming, and nothing is able to stop it. Get more breaking tech news at Commando.com. If you've ever wanted to make your home feel safer, there's no better time than now. Right now, my friends at Simply Safe are giving my listeners access to their New Year's holiday deals. 20% off through award-winning home security, and your first month is free when you sign up for interactive monitoring. I love Simply Safe because it has everything you need to make your home safe. Indoor and outdoor cameras, comprehensive sensors, all monitored around the clock by trained professionals who send help the instant you need it. Simply Safe was even named the best home security system of 2021 by U.S. News & World Report. Customize the system for your home online in minutes and get free custom recommendations. Plus, no long-term contracts or commitments. But you have to hurry. Take 20% off your Simply Safe system, and your first month is free when you sign up for the interactive monitoring service. Visit simplysafekim.com. Again, that's simplysafekim.com for 20% off your system. SimplySafeKim.com.
It's time for the Chavez County Sports Report. All that stuff we told you yesterday about Dexter playing against Hagerman in Hagerman, boys-girls doubleheader, it's all true. But they're playing again tonight, so don't get confused by the schedule. Yeah, another Hagerman-Dexter boys-girls doubleheader tonight. Tonight it'll be in Dexter. Now, last night in Hagerman, Dexter defeated Hagerman in girls basketball 36-27. Hagerman didn't score in the first quarter, and Dexter scored 11. That's pretty much the difference of the ball game. In boys basketball, Hagerman blew out Dexter 60-24. Tonight, boys basketball, Goddard playing at Hobbs. Hobbs is 12-1. Roswell boys hoops playing at Lovington. Lovington is 8-3. In girls basketball, Roswell at Portales. Portales is 9-3. The sports report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
With the SRN News Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. President Biden met virtually with independent farmers and ranchers Monday to discuss initiatives to reduce food prices by increasing competition within the meat industry, part of the broader effort to show his administration is trying to combat inflation. Higher than expected inflation has hurt Biden's planned agenda and hurt his public approval rating. A South Florida man tried to obtain more than $4.2 million in COVID-19 relief funds by filing false loan applications. That's according to federal prosecutors. Valesky Baraski made his first appearance last week in Fort Lauderdale federal court. He's charged with 5 counts of wire fraud, 3 counts of money laundering, and 1 count of aggravated identity theft. If convicted, Baraski faces up to 132 years in prison. On Wall Street, the Dow up 246 points, the Nasdaq up 187, and the S&P 500 rose 30 points. With the SRN News Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
When I'm ready for new furniture, I don't want to wait for it. I go to Glenn's Furniture, where everything is ready for immediate delivery. Beautiful power reclining furniture, gorgeous dining room sets and bedroom sets, and the world's most comfortable mattresses. Glenn's has the quality furniture I'm looking for at the best prices around, in stock and ready to go home. So don't wait around. Hurry to Glenn's Furniture at the corner of Union and Alameda, delivering for free since 1953.
Today we're going to give you the 5th key to a great marriage, taken from Drs. Les and Leslie Perot. Hi, this is Pastor Troy and Julie Smotherman for The Joy of Marriage. The 5th key is commitment, living the love you promised.
Galatians 6:9 says, "And let us not get tired of doing what is right, for after a while we will reap a harvest of blessing if we don't get discouraged and give up." You know, one of the keys to commitment is just deciding in your heart, I'm never giving up on God, I'm never giving up on my marriage, I'm never giving up on my family.
Commitment is a promise made and kept by 2 imperfect people. It's good for our kids to see that problems happen, and we're committed to solving them together.
If you want all 5 keys to a great marriage, you can go to our website at jomconference.com.
What does paying $10 a month for health insurance sound like? Yeah, kind of like that. Open enrollment is on now, and you may be able to get health insurance for $10 a month. And as New Mexico's health insurance marketplace, Be Well NM makes finding health insurance and signing up easy and affordable. And our services are free. Call us at 1-833-862-3935 or visit BeWellNM.com to get the assistance you need and to get insured. Because you just never know.
Hugh Hewitt is now in Roswell on 106.5 FM KEND Roswell.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Greg Clugston in Washington. Frustration for air travelers continues. Yesterday's winter storm added to COVID-related airline staff shortages.
Already early this morning, there were more than 900 U.S. flight cancellations and more than 300 delays, according to the tracking website FlightAware. JetBlue canceling 10% of its flights, Southwest 5%. Reagan National, Newark Liberty, and Seattle Tacoma lead the way for airports with the most cancellations this morning. Yesterday, there were more than 3,000 U.S. flight cancellations and 8,000 delays as a winter storm dumped several inches of snow in the D.C. area. I'm Julie Walker.
And David Roth at the National Weather Service says it was a record-breaking snow day yesterday for the nation's capital.
Record snowfall of 6.9 inches fell at national airports, which broke the daily record of 2.4 inches set in 1988.
That snowy weather along the East Coast led to serious travel problems overnight. In Virginia, highway traffic on Interstate 95 was backed up for 15 miles at least because of a crash involving 6 tractor trailers. Hundreds of motorists were stranded all night. South Dakota political candidates are revving into full campaign mode this week, with one big exception.
Republican Senator John Thune has delayed a re-election announcement as he considers retirement. Thune has held his Senate seat for 3 terms and is a likely pick to be the next Senate GOP leader. He had planned to announce a re-election decision over the holidays, but the senator has made no indication he is any closer to a decision.
Correspondent Ken Lormond. A mixed start to Wall Street, the Dow up 283, the Nasdaq off 47. More at townhall.com.
So I invested in one of those fancy new exercise bikes. Without a doubt, a very special tool to help me get healthier. The problem is 3 days go by, then 4, and I've done nothing. And then it's night 5, and I'm sitting at the kitchen table, and I look down at myself, and I can't help but just laugh. Because there I am, wearing the exercise t-shirt that came with the bike, and I'm eating 2 corn dogs. And I think we'd all agree, the special tool only matters if we use it to our benefit. At United Faith Mortgage, we believe we have an advantageous tool for you. Our mortgage team is an arm of a bigger company who is a direct lender, which means our company gets to use its own money and make its own decisions. There's no middleman, and often this allows us to get you a better rate on your refinance or new home purchase, which can save you monthly and lifelong money. We are United Faith Mortgage.
United Faith Mortgage is a DBA of United Mortgage Corp. 25 Melville Park Road, Melville, New York. Licensed mortgage banker. For all licensing information, go to nmlsconsumeraccess.org. Corporate NMLS number 1330. Equal housing lender. Licensed in Alaska, Hawaii, Georgia, Massachusetts, North Dakota, South Dakota, or Utah.
Prices for used cars are soaring.
And because of that, buyers are being increasingly priced out of the market. Edmunds.com says the average price of a used vehicle in the U.S. in November was more than $29,000. That's 39% more than just 12 months earlier. More than half of America's households have less income than they'd need to buy the average price used vehicle. Gone are the days when just about anyone with a steady income could wander onto an auto lot and snag a reliable late model car for a few $1,000s. John Scott reporting.
Meanwhile, Ford Motor Company says there's high demand for its new electric F-150 Lightning pickup trucks. Based on advanced reservations, the automaker says it plans to nearly double annual production to 150,000 per year at its factory in Dearborn, Michigan. News and analysis at townhall.com. I'm Greg Clugston. The world's #1 tennis player will defend his Australian Open title later this month after receiving a medical exemption from having a COVID-19 vaccination.
Novak Djokovic has not commented on his vaccination status in recent months, but had previously made his reservations about having the vaccine clear. The world #1 took to social media to say he had received an exemption and is heading down under today. Applications for medical exemptions are being assessed anonymously by 2 separate panels, with inflammatory cardiac illness or another acute condition listed as valid reasons. But it is also possible Djokovic has recently tested positive for the virus, which would allow him to defer taking the vaccine at this time.
That's the BBC's Russell Fuller reporting. Washington's NFL team says it will unveil its name on February 2nd. The team confirms the name will not be Wolves or Red Wolves. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. Get on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The do.
Of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Tanner's on it. Good job. So they just said in the news what I told earlier. They're going to announce the name and the logo and all that, uniforms, all that here on Groundhog Day, February 2nd. And then I guess the caveat they added there in the news is they said the team name will not be Wolves or Red Wolves. Well, that kind of alienated the name. I know most people don't care, but in the little fandom circles of Washington right now, Red Wolves was kind of the name that most people were embracing as far as a name that they could deal with. So all those people are now officially alienated. The rumor out there is they're going to name the team the Commandos. That's where.
That's sad.
Which it is sad. I'm not a fan of that at all. Now, if they want to go with a military theme, I'm cool with that. But Commandos isn't it. To me, honestly, I wouldn't go leadership direction. I wouldn't say it like Commandos or Generals or anything like that. If you want to call it a military-themed name, why not Soldiers? Why not GIs?
The Washington Bill Murrays.
How about Grunts? I would love the Washington Grunts. And it's just because that's a military term, and that's a term of endearment. It's not offensive to anybody. If you call a military, hey, come on, Grunts, that I don't think anybody's going to get butthurt about that. And it kind of stays with that fabric of a beloved name as opposed to Commandos or Commanders. I mean, come on. Because I'm just saying, if they're gonna pay an homage to military, let's honor the GI, not the
Washington cannon fodder.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just commanders or whatever they're going to go with. It just seems it doesn't blow my skirt up. It just doesn't. It just doesn't do that. But if they call them the Washington Soldiers or the Washington GIs or the Grunts or something like that, probably not Leathernecks because someone will get mad about that, even though that's a term of endearment for military folks, or Squibs or but any of those things, but Commanders, come on. Now, hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully they've been pulling an okie doke on us and gotten everyone thinking it's that, and it's going to be something cool. But knowing this organization and knowing how they handle things, again, I point to Groundhog Day and the stories I told you last hour. They can't get out of their own way. So no, it's probably going to be Commanders, and it's going to be stupid, and they botch this whole thing up like they botch everything else up. We'll see.
At least it's not the Washington POWs.
I would be more honored
really?
for that.
Really?
At least we're honoring people that aren't the generals or the
Washington MIA.
POW MIA, honoring our
that'd be interesting.
Honoring our prisoners of war, and
I don't think they had the.
They'd have to change the colors though.
Yeah.
They'd have to change it. They can't go with burgundy and gold. You'd have to go black and white if you're going to be POW MIAs or something like that. Washington POW MIAs or something like that. You'd have to go black, but I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully the Grunts or something. Just Commanders.
Ooh, the Washington servicemen would be fine. Would that work?
Well, then it'd be men. They'd be
service people.
Yeah, then we start sounding like community. It'd get a little weird. The community human beings is going to start sounding like that. So anything that's gender specific, we'd have to get out. So that won't work. You'd have to be. That's why I'd say GIs or Grunts or
trying to think
soldiers.
of everything military that you could attach
soldiers
to it.
Or the just. The Minutemen, but that would be going into Patriot territory.
Yeah.
So plus they're keeping the burgundy and gold. So if you go Minutemen or anything like that, you almost have to go red, white, and blue because, come on. But that would work in Washington because that would line up with their other teams. The Wizards go red, white, and blue now. The Capitals have always been red, white, and blue. Because the Bullets were red, white, and blue. Then when they went Wizards, they went that purple and gold or whatever it was. But now they embraced the red, white, and blue again for the Wizards. So
okay.
And the Caps went away from red, white, and blue for a little bit. They went blue and gold and black. But that was a short stint as well. So it would actually line up if they went with a Patriot. But
I hope they give y'all a good name because I want you to be happy.
Give me a new owner. That'll make me happy. I don't care what you call the team. Get rid of Dan Snyder. That'll make me happy. When that buffoon's gone, then that man's name is mud as far as I'm concerned. He's single-handedly destroyed this proud franchise. He deserves to be tarred and feathered and packed out of town, man. Yeah, he not so much a big fan of his, but I mean, we'll see what happens. But I'm prepared to be disappointed. I'm going in expecting disappointment. It's going to be something lame like Commanders or Generals or something stupid, and it's like, did you pick the logo off Madden football? Because that's kind of what it reminds me of when you say Commanders or Generals. Like, for those that deep played Madden football, I don't know if it's still this way, but you used to be able to create your own team, and you could pick up. You could be the Generals or the Warthogs or something like that on Madden. I feel like if they go Commanders, they literally just picked one of those logos out of the Madden profile and said, we're that team now. You can build it yourself in Madden right now.
Are they married to the colors?
Yes. Burgundy and gold is not changing.
No?
Burgundy and gold is not changing.
So
that was one thing they've said from day one. They're not changing the colors.
What about the Crimson Eagles?
Well, it'd be burgundy.
Burgundy Eagles. The Burgundy Eagles.
See, that's kind of a sore spot.
I don't know.
Too.
I'm just trying to they need to just draw something completely out of left field.
Yeah.
Like nothing anybody's expecting.
Yeah.
The Washington
just to blow
Groundhogs.
the over under.
Well, it's being released on Groundhog Day.
I'm
so
just saying, it'd be kind of funny.
I mentioned the Ned Ryersons at the first hour, the Washington Ned Ryersons.
The Washington Shadows.
If we announce it on Groundhog Day.
Well, then you'd have to change the colors.
No, Burgundy Shadows.
Burgundy Shadows?
Yeah, it's a Burgundy Shadow.
In the shadow of Ron Burgundy.
Oh.
That would be my
makes
team
more
logo.
sense.
Ron Burgundy. The Washington Ron Burgundy.
Just a mustachioed man.
Yeah. And they can keep the burgundy and gold.
I like it.
The mustachio, and then as the team comes out, the whole crowd screams, "I love Scotch."
Scotch. Yeah. It becomes
by the beard of Zeus. We all just by the beard of Zeus. Great Odin's ghost.
Odin's raven.
That's shoot. I could.
Santiago.
Oh man, we just built the whole thing, and they could and you know what? In the sake of inclusivity, we'll even throw some Anchorman too. Maybe they come out in an RV that drives itself.
Right.
And then the burger
Chicken of the air.
I'm blind. You can have chicken of the cave stands in the stadium.
There you go.
Oh man,
the whole team comes out in a overturning RV. Lots of stuff inside.
Yeah. And then Brick's our announcer. Like, but he calls it wrong every time. Like when it's first down, Brick's like, all right now.
Let's go to the weather.
This is randomly dumb things. I love Lamp. I mean, just whatever. I would be a huge fan.
Washington down 34 points. Yes. What Brick?
I died. Oh no.
When are we going to find out again? You said Groundhog Day. But what's that day?
February 2nd.
2nd?
Yep.
Okay.
As I was driving in, I heard you say we will find out. Like for some reason in my head, I thought you said we'll find out today, February 2nd. And in my head, I jumped a whole month in like a few days. And I'm like, oh my God, it's February 2nd because that's my girlfriend's birthday. So I'm like, oh no, I forgot. But no, it's still January. I'm good.
Yeah, you're good.
This has been, boy, this has been a day.
It's been
already. By the way, hi Roswell.
Hi.
So your girlfriend's birthday's Groundhog Day?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Yeah, we discussed it. She's part groundhog.
So does she wake up and look for a shadow? I'm sure these jokes have all been told.
Yeah, a couple times.
What do groundhogs eat?
Grass. Bugs.
Do they? Or do they like nuts and stuff?
Well, they're like
what do they
shrews,
eat?
aren't they?
I don't even have my phone on me.
They're like moles
Worms?
and shrews and
worms.
What
do groundhogs eat?
I'd imagine they're probably herbivores. I can't imagine a carnivorous groundhog. That's hard to wrap my head around.
I think it's just bugs and grass.
So like
I think it's
rabbits eat
omnivorous.
like lettuce and stuff. Like if you had a groundhog pet, like what do you feed it? You feed it
groundhog
like
pellets,
lettuce and stuff,
pellets.
or what do you feed it? You give it a sandwich. Do you give it like lettuce?
Do you make it a sandwich? I mean, I would imagine it would appreciate that.
Yes.
What do you feed it?
I will
Carrots
say
or
this:
something?
that every week that I have my kids, my cats are rather well fed because they usually just pick stuff off of my son's tray. So it's like potato chips.
Okay.
And, all kinds of So So I'd imagine that just whatever's around.
So like I cook up a thing of spaghetti, then just,
Ned Ryerson.
bowl for
Maybe
the groundhog.
maybe they all just consume Ned Ryerson.
Ned Ryerson? Bing! We're going to play our interview with that Sean had with Lori Schatz last Wednesday, the day I was supposed to be here, but I wasn't. And talking about John Denver.
Yes.
He's coming to Roswell February 2nd.
Coming back.
It's a tribute. It's not
He's
the
also
John.
going to be here on Groundhog Day?
No, it's February. No, it's not the 2nd.
Okay.
It's
I was
February.
I believe it's February 19th.
Yeah, 19th. I'm just yelling out
He is
February.
on Friday.
February 2nd. February the 19th.
Okay,
Yes, I'm
okay.
sorry.
It's still in February.
Yes. 2 shows, 2 p.m., 7 p.m.
It's happening.
And look at this picture. Oh, I don't. My thing went that way.
It's still there.
Look at this picture.
I mean, it's him.
That's
It's him.
That's John Denver, right? No, that's the guy who's going to be John
That's
Denver.
Ted Vigil.
Yeah, Ted Vigil.
Ted
But he
Vigil.
looks like John Van. Nah, I can't say the word.
And then when I say Ted
John
Vigil,
Denver.
all I hear in my head is Ted Lasso. So now I got a guy that looks like John Denver, but in my head talks like Ted Lasso.
Who basically talks like Ned Flanders. You want to add that extra layer?
Oh, I need to stop. My head is spinning. Oh, Billy. All right, it is 8:18. Time for your weather, which is way just normal right now.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We have high pressure in place, so things look fair for the next couple of days and pretty comfortable temperatures. And then we have another cold front that'll be cooling things off on Thursday. No rain or snow expected for the next few days. Mid-60s and sunshine today. Down to 30 and clear for the overnight hours. And then we're looking at mid-60s and sunshine again on Wednesday. Only 50 on Thursday. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently, I got to get my weather up because I was thinking about Ron Burgundy. Currently, where's my weather? There it is. 23 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 63%. Winds are currently out of the west of the southwest at 5 miles per hour. Sunny today, warm, 67 for the high today with winds out of the north, 5 to 10 this morning, shift into the west, picking up 10 to 15 for this afternoon. Mostly clear tonight with an overnight low of 30. Northwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday, sunny, high of 64 with northwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday night, mostly clear with an overnight low of 28. Winds out of the southwest 5 to 10 miles per hour. Thursday, it's all different. Going to be cooler on Thursday, but it's a short spell of coolness. For Thursday, sunny, but highs only expected to reach 49 degrees. Winds will be out of the north 10 to 15 miles per hour. Clear skies Thursday night with an overnight low of 23. We'll be back up into the mid-60s for Friday, 64 and sunny. Friday night, clear skies with an overnight low of 32. And then Saturday, we're going to be near 70. Sunny, 69 officially, but I bet we hit 70. And then dropping down into the mid-50s. Sunny, 56 for Sunday. And looks like we'll be in mid-50s next Monday when you head back to work and school there as well. All right. It is 8:20. Let's go ahead and take about a 3.5-minute commercial break. And then I'll play our interview with Sean and Lori Schatz talking about the John Denver Ted Vigil tribute concert coming to the Roswell Community Little Theater. It's a fundraising event for the Little Theater and Kiwanis Club of Roswell. 2 shows only that day. We're going to talk all about that or play that interview talking all about that next. Don't go away.
What does it mean to be a world-class university? To start, being ranked in the top 2% of universities in the world, and to be the only designated R1 highest research activity university in the state. It's about creating the most opportunities for students. And at the University of New Mexico, we do just that by offering affordable, top-tier education year after year and awarding millions in scholarships to our students. So, what are you waiting for? Apply to UNM at apply.unm.edu.
Roswell is our home. That's why we've all got to do our part to stop illegal dumping. Throwing your trash, clutter, or yard debris in the alleys, sidewalks, or streets is a crime, and it takes time and money to clean it up. Those caught dumping illegally can face fines of up to $500. You can help by taking your waste to the landfill once a month for free with a paid water bill. Call the City of Roswell Solid Waste Department for more information at 575-624-6746. Help keep Roswell clean. After all, do you want your kids to grow up in a dump?
Times are changing, and today's funerals aren't always the sad and solemn events you might expect. This is Gabriel Casaus from Lagrone Funeral Chapel. Along with hymns and scriptures, today's funeral services are often filled with fish stories, country songs, and a joke or two, golf clubs and hot rods, favorite recipes, and kitchen disasters. At Lagrone Funeral Chapel, we believe a funeral should reflect your loved one's personality, passion, and sense of humor. When you lose a loved one, we're here, because at Lagrone Funeral Chapel and Crematory, we make it personal.
900 South Main, Roswell.
Having trouble keeping up with the conversation? Here on Earth Hearing Center can help. Here on Earth is locally owned and operated and have been serving Southeast New Mexico since 1955. Let their experience help you with a free hearing assessment. If you do need a hearing device, they will guide you through every step of the process. They accept all types of insurance, including Medicaid, and all of their devices are made right here in the USA. Call and schedule your appointment today, 575-622-0375, or come by 2800 North Main, Suite 2, across from Target in Roswell. Here on Earth Hearing Center, get back in the conversation.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard has led to a lot of firsts for me. The education assistance I received made it possible for me to be the first person in my family to go to school and graduate debt-free. That education helped get me to the first day at my dream job, a job that I can still hold while I serve part-time. That job, plus the other benefits possible from the Army National Guard, helped me become a first-time homeowner. Also, part of my role as a National Guard soldier means I know that I can be one of the first to respond and help my community if disaster ever strikes. I'm extremely proud that I get to serve my community, and that first step I took by joining the Army National Guard has made all the difference in my life. Talk to your local recruiter or visit NationalGuard.com to find out what firsts are available to you in the Army National Guard.
Sponsored by the New Mexico Army National Guard, aired by the New Mexico Broadcasters Association and this station.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. A group of 12 or more cows is called a flink. If you have only 11 cows, that's called a lot of cow pies. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning, 14 minutes after 9 o'clock on your Wednesday morning. Joining us in studio is Lori Schatz. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Doing real good. I say it every time to Mike that we need to have entrance music for you when you come on. Well, because there's a built-in song for you.
There is? What song is that?
Lil Jon, and it's Lil Jon, the East Side Boys, and I can't remember who else, but shots, 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 shots.
Hey, I like it.
So I think, we should have entrance music for you every time you come in.
Gene helped me get my slogan for my business cards because he wanted to say Sure Shots. So it's Best Shots Productions, where we provide sure shows, or I can't remember exactly how it goes. But anyway, on the back of my business card, which I did not bring with me, and I told him, I said, this is O to you, because you never want to say best shots, you want to say sure shots. So I put it on the back of the business card.
I like that.
So now you guys have come up with my intro music. So I love it. Keep going. I don't have to be creative at all.
Yeah, we're building your entire brand. Basically.
You are. It's great.
There you go. We do require a cut on the back end, but as long as that's understood, nothing was signed though. It's all verbal contract.
Because my real name is Loretta, and so I remember in junior high I had a physics teacher that was like, "Get back, Loretta," and he goes, "You know what that's from, do you?" And I'm like, "No," and it was. Now I do because I know the song,
right.
But at the time I did not know what that was from.
But you're a busy young lady. I mean, moving back and forth between your Kiwanis hat, your Best Shots Productions. I mean, you have a lot of irons in the fire.
Yep, I try to stay busy. My passion, of course, is in the entertainment field, which I have done for 40 years. Whether it's owning my own company, I've owned the Chicago Stunt Team and the Windy City Two Steppers when I lived in Chicago.
Wow.
Or Best Shots Productions that I started in Indiana and brought with me here. It's been a little dormant the last few years, or running a performing arts center or petting zoo, all that kind of stuff. And now, I have a real job, 9 to 5, and that's interesting. I worked more hours before and more days, but it didn't feel that way.
Because it's a passion project. Because
Correct.
There
are times it wasn't, but yes, for the most part,
what's the old saying? Love what you do and you never work a day in your life, which is bullcrap because you absolutely do. You're still going to have bad days.
Right.
They're just not going to be as bad.
And now I am very lucky to be working for a law firm here in town that I absolutely love. So, and that's a whole nother group and beast on its own.
Sure.
Right. And I get to bring some of my skills to the table when it comes to events for team building. And that's exciting because they've never had, as far as I know, they've never had that aspect of an office manager.
Right.
So I have a lot of things in the air, and then half of them I don't talk about because they only really apply to maybe 12 people. And they're not open events, but I'm super thrilled to be working in Roswell and being part of the community.
When you work in a law office, I mean, I got to imagine you're working with a bunch of suits, a lot of dressed down men and young ladies that they don't necessarily like to let their hair down and have fun during the work hours. But you're kind of that glimmer of let's throw a little party in the office.
I'm hoping that's
here.
what I am. I'm also in charge of all the legal secretaries and paralegals, and so that's where it really comes out. I mean, they have a lot of stress in their lives as well. And I'm real lucky to work with many of them that just, plow through and get her done. And then when it's time to have a paint class or have a talk about nutrition, we do all kinds of things. We're doing White Elephant on Thursday when we get back.
Okay.
Bring something you don't really want and take what you really need, and whatever is left, I'm taking it over to the Salvation Army. So
nice. Here's a fun fact for you. I just learned this yesterday. You know why we call that White Elephant gifts?
No, I do not.
So basically, it stems from I can't remember if it's like the 15 or 1600s. They used to give if you had someone that was like a hassle to you in your life, you would give them. They would give rich people would give other folks a rare albino elephant. Because they're sacred, so they're like a religious symbol, but they're incredibly hard to care for. So basically, you gave somebody this thing. It's like, here's your entire life. You basically gave them an above ground.
So their focus became that, and not being a pain in the dupa to you.
So it became a thing that is not necessarily valuable to you, but could be valuable to someone else,
right?
If given the right amount of care and things like that. So yeah, that's where
poor
we get the
white elephant.
I know they get such a bad rap. But lots of irons in the fire, and obviously you are. We're all gearing up for the show coming up in February, which seems like so long away, but it's just a month and a half.
Right, exactly, because you have all these holidays, like you're saying, back to back, and even if you, in my brain, let's add Thanksgiving, because that isn't so far off either, right? So you have Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's, and then it's the letdown.
Yep.
Not only the letdown, but you don't have a lot of money. And there's
Bills
not a lot going on.
Yep.
And it's dark, and it's still winter. So we're real happy to bring a tribute to John Denver to the Roswell Little Theater. And I want to make sure, which I have not said in the past, of course, my phone died. And I don't know if you have it in your brain, but their address.
The address for the Roswell community.
Isn't it 1717
South Union? Yes.
So they want to make sure that people know that. And you can either
Shopping Center.
Or across the street from Dollar Store.
Yes.
Because my last concert, I forgot my makeup and I had to go to the Dollar Store.
Always handy.
Or you can either get online and go to Roswell Community Little Theater with an R-E, which is Old English.
It's actually roswelltheater.com, I believe, or
.org.
.org.
Yes, and you can get online and do it. We have VIP tickets for $40 or regular reservations for $30, or you can call me at 575-513-8119. I can't tell you how many reservations yesterday, maybe 15.
Really?
So the phones are starting to ring, and the only place I've really advertised is Facebook and here. So, if you want tickets, I am hoping that Mike put the curse on us correctly when he said, I believe it's going to be sold out.
This is going to be I believe this is, knock on wood, I believe this is going to be a sellout performance. I mean, and we'll talk about the story here in just a moment, but it really is a once in a lifetime opportunity because, John Denver, obviously he's such an iconic artist, and has such an impact on this area, being from, having spent time in Roswell and southeastern New Mexico, there's an added, impact to this area. And this guy, Ted Vigil, I mean, he's phenomenal in both, absorbing the character traits, the mannerisms, but also, the voice. It's absolutely phenomenal.
I know you're talking about it this morning, and I know when I first contracted him and was talking to the agent, and then they sent me the PR pack, and I'm like, this is him or this is John Denver?
Right.
Like, am I allowed to use this image? Because
yeah, you're like, we have to credit Getty Images, obviously, for the picture of John Denver.
So they're like, no, that's him. That's actually Ted. So you can use it, and he's giving you the right to use it because you've signed the contract to bring him here. And I was just like, okay. But yeah, I totally agree with you. He looks exactly. It's uncanny.
Mm-hmm. It really, really is. So let's talk for a second about Ted Vigil, because he stumbled into the performance of John Denver.
Correct.
He didn't go into music thinking I'm gonna do a John Denver thing. It just sort of happened, right?
Right. Yeah. He was going to be part of a talent competition, and he showed up, and everyone said, "Oh my gosh, are you going to sing John Denver?" And he wasn't going to.
Right.
And then he went and learned a John Denver song and came in and sang it and won the whole competition. Then went to nationals and won that as well. And ever since then became the John Denver tribute artist. And it's because of the way he sounds, but it's also because of the way he looks. He's like you've said, the whole package. And for our performance, he can do this with a trio. He can do it with an orchestra. He can do it with just a band. But for us, it's going to be him and an acoustic guitar. And he has a slideshow behind him of John Denver's life, which will include parts of him living here in Roswell.
Awesome.
And his dad used to be part of an NMI, and then became his private pilot for his private plane, and that's where his love for flying came from.
That's such a trip. I mean, because his father wasn't necessarily, behind him at the beginning.
No,
Saying, Dad, I'm gonna be a singer. The heck you are.
Right, exactly. Yeah, his dad was not supportive at all.
But he came around.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he came around and then probably was his biggest fan. Obviously, that's why he was flying him around the country to his concerts. So Ted knows all those stories. And just like we did Simon and Garfunkel, and that couple knew stories about Simon and Garfunkel, had actually met them and had met people that the songs were written about. This gentleman is the same way. He's done his research and is pretty close to the estate of John Denver.
I'd imagine you'd have to. If you're anachronism, if you're trying to lean into someone's life, you kind of have to.
Right. I mean, because you're going to be asked those questions. And I mean, I produced a Patsy Cline show, and every time I did, there was at least one person that came out and looked at Patsy and said, "I'm so glad you made it through the plane crash." And I'm like, okay, that's not really her. She actually did die in the plane crash. And that's the same way, I'm sure, with the tribute. I mean, what was different about the last one was it was a husband and wife.
Sure.
So, Simon and Garfunkel are still alive. But a lot of tributes, they're done to those that are not with us anymore.
Right.
So, it's great. I mean, to me, that would be the biggest compliment ever, So I'm hoping that maybe many people feel that way when they see him. So
that's actually why I wear the beard, because without the beard, I look so much like Ed Sheeran that people just goad me to sing at parties. Like I can't do that anymore. I can't
do it without the beard.
No. Can't with my Ed Sheeran good looks. Now, does he when Ted performs, does he perform as Ted, or does he lean fully into the character?
He kind of does a mixture.
Okay.
Yeah. Kind of does a mixture. And I think that's really good because it gives people a little taste of who he is as a person. And he's very endearing, along with about what John was about.
Sure.
And I do want to mention it is Saturday, February 19th. It's 2 and 7. These are two different times for Roswell Little Theater. So if you're a Roswell Little Theater fan and you go all the time, these times are a little different.
They're odd, yes.
Yeah. Well, 2 o'clock is because we have a lot of followers from Artesia. And they want to get here. The great thing is on my one experience, they either come for lunch and come to the concert, and then they get home before dark, or they come to the concert, go to dinner, and go home. So the Artesians are spending some money here in Roswell for you Roswellians. So that's an awesome thing. In fact, I don't know anyone who didn't do one of those things that came from Artesia. So the 2 o'clock is for that, along with, if I lived in Roswell, I probably would go to the 2 o'clock as well. I'd like my evening to be open.
You get the show, you get to get the entertainment, and then you get to gather with your friends and talk about it afterwards.
Right. And then of course the 7 o'clock we had at 7:30 last time, and because of us being still in winter, I mean we just started winter now at the end of December. It's still going to be a little darker. I decided to move it up a little bit by half an hour. We did it at 7:30 last time, and it seemed like there was too much of a lag time between the two.
Right.
So we moved it to 7, so we'll be over by 9. And again, you can still be home at a decent hour. So you can still go out to eat at 5:30, still make the concert. And if you get a VIP, there are snacks that will be there and wine, and you get to have the best seats in the house, along with meeting Ted prior to the concert,
And it's
which is
only-
a little different.
That's awesome. It's only $10 more.
Yeah.
That's phenomenal. For that little bit more, you're getting so much more.
Right. And we keep that room open at intermission. So Ted will not be in the room at intermission, but if hey, I didn't get snacks beforehand and I'm kind of hungry now,
gotta
or
wine
just
up.
want to go and chitty chat with how the concert's going.
Sure.
Yeah. And it was real interesting. Funny you should say wine up. So the 2:00 show, hardly anything was touched. They went in there and they met the artist, and I guess they had a glass of wine, but very reserved.
They were keeping it polite.
But that 7:30 show,
the sun was still out. No, decent people can't be drinking when the sun's out. Come on.
But the 7:30 show, truly enjoyed the VIP room, which was great because we were like, did we order too much food? Do we have too much stuff? But by the time it was all said and done, it was all great.
Now, I'm sure you guys were real upset about maybe having too much having extra wine
I hate
afterwards.
that.
Oh, I guess everybody grab a bottle on your way out.
And then, so that people know as well, this is a fundraiser. Yes, we're all going to enjoy the entertainment, but we're doing this because the Roswell Community Little Theater needs a roof.
Yes.
And they have been doing really well on their own fundraisers and raising money, but we want to give them over the top so that they're comfortable. They own that building, so it's not like they're renting and they can say, can you hold off on, us paying you or anything. This is their big enchilada, their responsibility. And then I'm representing Kiwanis of Roswell, who is building an all-inclusive park for children. Thank you
so much for that. As a father of a child on the spectrum, I can't tell you how much of a difference that makes. I mean, I've taken Rhiannon to some of the all-inclusive parks in Albuquerque,
right?
And they're amazing. It's such an amazing experience.
So all-inclusive park, as you know, is not just for those on the spectrum; it's for everybody, so that all children can play and enjoy, and of course, that helps socialization, all that kind of thing, makes you a better decision maker, makes you more involved in your community when you start them young, whether it's in the arts or the play of that. So,
and also, and I think a lot of people don't think about how much impact it has on heteronormative kids. That they have that chance to interact with with kids on the spectrum, and it gives them that empathy and that chance to kind of see things from a different perspective
and see that they're just a kid like they are.
Exactly.
Right. There's no. Might be getting to the end product a little differently, but that we're all there for fun and exercise and interaction. So Kiwanis is doing that with the autism community in New Mexico. So we want to thank them as well. And our governor has gave us seed money to start that. And I believe the city of Roswell has asked for more money. When we first received the money, it was worth more. Mm-hmm. So I understand your gas went up, your groceries went up. So what we could have built then, we cannot build now. Right. So I believe that the city of Roswell has asked for the extra money so that it gets back to where we were. Sure. So thank you for that as well. I don't know. I don't think they talked about it this session. I think it will be in February. Mm-hmm. But that part of it will leave to our representative, Greg Nybert, who's representing us there. And I won't speak anymore because I know a little about that. Sure. But that is what the funds will be going to. So once we reach our cost of the concert, then we will be splitting it with Roswell Community Little Theater and Best Shots Productions. So the Kiwanis.
Perfect. So so the money is going to a fantastic cause. And you touched on something there that Roswell Community Little Theater owns that building. Mm-hmm. As somebody who's spent a lot of time here in Roswell, watching the story of the Little Theater go from that little building over there on Virginia to moving into this theater and basically taking it completely on their own and saying, okay, if we're going to do this together. We're going to do it, and it's going to be our
right.
Thing. And it's awesome to see. So they when a hand is needed, that's what we're here for.
And I like to thank the board. I mean, I go to them with these crazy ideas all the time, and they have so far allowed me to do some of them to help out. And it keeps my hand, as I said earlier, in the pot of entertainment and in my passion. And Alethea, who is their president, has been fantastic to work with. We work on the postcards together. We work on, it's funny because she said, if we're going to do radio interviews, it has to be at 9:15. And I'm like a way early person. Right? So I'm like, okay, it can be at 7:15. She's like, no, I'm not coming. And that's fine. That's fine. But I really appreciate Roswell Community Little Theater. I will say our last concert, which was also a fundraiser, we met cost and both groups made money.
Awesome.
And so we had not a sponsor in sight. Right. We had foodie sponsors, but we didn't have sponsors for the concert. So we are looking for sponsors for this concert so that when we get the ticket money in, it goes totally towards the organizations that need it for their projects. So
sponsorships are available if you're a business or an organization that's listening and thinks, I'd like to be a part of this. I'd like to help out. Sponsorships are available, and your money will go to an absolutely amazing cause.
Right, and you'll get some tickets so that you can come, or maybe a group of you can come, depending on the level of sponsorship. Sure. So, and I'll be hitting those up a little harder after the first of the year. Of course, I didn't want to start it now with the holidays. We know that we can do it. We know that we can make the money, but it would be a lot better if we had the sponsorship there. So we'll look into that after. January 3rd, we'll
after
start.
the holiday hump.
Right, we'll start knocking on your door and asking. And you don't have to be from here. I mean, the all-inclusive park, the only other place that there's one that's officially that is Rio Grande.
Right.
In New Mexico. So we'll be the only one in southeast New Mexico that we know of, according to the state. So it is not just Roswell. So I appreciate those in Artesia. A lot of them asked me, is this going to be a fundraiser again? Is it going for that park you're interested in helping out? So yes, and yes, along with having the Roswell Community Little Theater. Yep. And what's cool is people came from Artesia for the last concert, and now they're coming to Roswell Little Theater for the shows. Mm-hmm. So that's really cool to see happening too.
We tapped into a market that most people hadn't thought about, and there's sort of a bit of a hole in Artesia with with things closing down there as far as like their performances, a lot of their stuff at the theater. That shall not be named. There's a bit of a hole there, and I think that hole is kind of being filled with the little theater and with some of the more creative endeavors happening here in Roswell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's worth the trip.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and so I'm real happy that I've been able to connect with them, like I said, with Alethea and the rest of the board and the little theater. I'm a member, and they've never had a member that hasn't been like in their show or directed shows. Mm-hmm. And they're like, so you want to be a member and you're not going to, I'm like, well, don't you have membership? And so hopefully maybe we can get that going for them as well. You can be a member just because you're enthusiasts, not because you're in any of the productions or anything like that. They also have subscriptions if you want to see all their shows next season, which I know that they're going to be announcing their shows in the next few months.
I've heard some rumors. I've heard some rumblings of some real
22nd
good stuff.
to 23rd. 2022 and 2023 was their season. So, and their tickets are very, very reasonable. So I would get on it now before they realized they could raise the rates because everything else is raising.
That's it.
But so again, it's, what did we say? 1717 South Union is where they're located. And you can give me a call at 575-513-8119 if you're interested in tickets for the tribute to John Denver. VIP is $40. You get a VIP room, and that includes some snacks, wine, and to meet Ted before the concert, as well as the best seats in the house. Absolutely. And $30 is for the rest of the house. It really isn't a bad seat. We hold 198, so that's why we're hoping we'll sell out both concerts. February 19th at 2 and 7 o'clock.
That's one thing I will say about the theater over there is they have phenomenal acoustics. Like for the fact that it's a converted movie theater. I mean, not necessarily the best room for sound absorption and whatnot, but they really have fantastic acoustics in that theater.
Yep, and they have several of their technicians, and I'm sorry I don't remember their names, that worked with our technician with Best Shots they're not used to having concerts. So when you say, do you have a mic and a mic stand, they have hanging mics because they do live theater. So it is a different bird for them as well. Learning process for both of us on how things are. We use their stage as is. They'll be getting ready for their show that has the four ladies in it.
I think it's Four Old Broads.
Yes.
I believe is what's called.
They'll be getting ready for that show when Ted will be there. So we'll be using their set.
Okay.
It's interesting. Some of the people that I know that aren't used to that is like, well, what was that behind them last time? And the next week.
That was the setup for Mother Goose Gets Eaten by Wolves, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah. So I'm like, well, because they have their show and they're sharing the stage, and this is how it kind of goes when you bring in professional acts to a theater that is doing a lot of things, because they also have CAP that go on there for the kids.
Right.
So, yeah, we're just real thrilled that we can be there and using their space and working with them.
The Improv artist in me. I mean, I would use the set. I would chew up the set as much as possible because I'm thinking about the set they had for the Mother Goose.
Right.
They had the staircase with the balcony.
Right.
And if I was performing, I'd come out on the rafters and start doing the duet thing.
Now, when we did it last time, it wasn't painted yet, and I knew what it was going to be.
Right.
But for those watching it, it was like they could see the platforms, and there's this thing, and why is that behind them? And I'm like, okay, that has nothing to do with the show.
Folks, you're just seeing how the sausage gets made.
Exactly. You're seeing the magic of theater right there. And it was interesting because I went to Mother Goose a few weeks later with some of the people that had come to the concert. And we get it.
There
right?
it is. Right now it makes sense.
Yeah. So you thought that, the magic of theater is just ta-ching, but it's not. It's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to get it ready. So
a lot of hands in a lot of different places. Well, you guys are constantly on the move. Best Shots Productions, Kiwanis. I mean, everybody just moving. So tickets available, but like you said, they are going fast.
Yeah. I mean, yesterday I was super surprised at how busy I was.
Absolutely. Get them quick. Once again, 575-513-8119 for tickets and more information. $30 reservations, $40 for VIP. Spend the extra $10. It's absolutely going to be worth it. This is we said, a once in a lifetime show. A chance to see an artist that embodies John Denver and the music and the life and it's a really cool experience.
And the connection to Roswell.
Yeah, absolutely. So get your tickets before they are gone. February 19th, 2 p.m. and 7 p.m., 2 shows. Any possibility of a third show getting added if we get...
I don't know. We'll have to see how tickets go. I'd have to ask maybe 4 weeks before the agent to see how things would go. He is coming actually from Arizona.
Okay.
From 2 concerts there. So we're en route. I don't know if he's en route to the next one in between us, but...
Awesome, but
never say never.
Yeah, make it the best problem that Lori could have is, do we add a third show? These tickets are going so fast. February 19th, 2 p.m., 7 p.m. Once again, tickets and more info 575-513-8119 or head to Roswell Theater with an RE.org for all the info that you need to know. Well, Lori, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And your travel.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if Gene's reimbursing you for the travel expenses.
No. And I just want to do a shout out. We are going to do a pancake breakfast for Kiwanis in 2022. So keep your eyes and ears open for that. We'll be selling tickets soon.
The best pancakes in the game.
Especially Mickey Mouse pancakes.
I'm telling you what. You guys, the Kiwanis Club upped my pancake, like my home pancake game. Like, if they're doing these on on a mass scale, I should be able to bump my
figure this out at home, right?
They should at least be round, right? That's kind of what I'm going for. If I can get round, I'm happy. That's really all a guy can hope for these days. Well, Lori, thank you so much for your time, and
thanks, Sean, and thanks for subbing for Mike, and I hope Mike has safe travels back for tomorrow's show.
Absolutely. Knock on wood, we'll have him back in the captain's chair tomorrow.
All right.
Thanks.
I'm Jared Sorello. Chavez County Sheriff's deputies continue investigating a shooting incident that took place just after midnight on Sunday. According to a statement on Facebook, Sheriff Mike Harrington said deputies responded to 2705 East 17th Street, east of Roswell, after learning that a man had been shot in the leg. The unnamed victim was taken to an area hospital where he is recovering today. Later in the day on Sunday, detectives located 2 suspects believed to have been involved, along with the gun believed to have been used in the crime. Both were arrested and are being held in jail. Republican State Representative Alonzo Baldonado of Los Lunas is retiring from the New Mexico legislature after a decade of advocacy for a district in central New Mexico and socially conservative causes. A spokesman for House Republicans announced Baldonado's departure on Friday in a news release. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello reporting.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We have high pressure in place, so things look fair for the next couple of days and pretty comfortable temperatures. And then we have another cold front that'll be cooling things off on Thursday. No rain or snow expected for the next few days. Mid-60s and sunshine today. Down to 30 and clear for the overnight hours. And then we're looking at mid-60s and sunshine again on Wednesday. Only 50 on Thursday. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
With the SRN News Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. President Biden met virtually with independent farmers and ranchers Monday to discuss initiatives to reduce food prices by increasing competition within the meat industry, part of the broader effort to show his administration is trying to combat inflation. Higher than expected inflation has hurt Biden's planned agenda and hurt his public approval rating. A South Florida man tried to obtain more than $4.2 million in COVID-19 relief funds by filing false loan applications. That's according to federal prosecutors. Valesky Veraski made his first appearance last week in Fort Lauderdale federal court. He's charged with 5 counts of wire fraud, 3 counts of money laundering, and 1 count of aggravated identity theft. If convicted, Veraski faces up to 132 years in prison. On Wall Street, the Dow up 246 points, the Nasdaq up 187, and the S&P 500 rose 30 points. With the SRN News Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
I am Sandra Stewart, Chaves County Assessor.
And I am Charlotte Andrade Gourlay, Chaves County Treasurer.
If someone is pressuring you to sell your property at a reduced price because you are delinquent on your taxes, beware.
If you're a delinquent, please contact the Chaves County Treasurer's Office and we will work with you to bring your account current. Please note that any real property 3 years delinquent can be auctioned off by the state of New Mexico.
For any questions, please contact our offices.
Thank you.
A good night's sleep is so important. Did you know that proper sleep supports a healthy heart, decreases chances of weight gain, and boosts a positive mood? Hi, this is Dr. Sarah Usher with Carabelli Dental. It doesn't matter your age, sleeping issues can make any of us reach for that all-day cup of coffee. If you know you are not sleeping because of severe snoring or sleep apnea, come visit us. We can make you a small oral appliance that will help you sleep better and live better.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental at the corner of 9th and Main in Roswell or call 622-4455.
Pecans are a big deal here in Chaves County. We have some of the biggest orchards in the country, and lots of us have pecan trees in our yards. Hi, this is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company. Whether you have 1 pecan tree or 1,000 of them, this time of year, every pecan tree needs fertilizing. So come see us at Roswell Seed Company, and we'll get you fixed up with the right fertilizer for your pecan trees, so that next year, your nuts will be big and beautiful. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
A comedian once said, "No one can tell me anything, not even myself." Hi, this is Pastor Troy and Julie Smotherman for The Joy of Marriage.
You know, most people stop listening and start forming an answer or response when someone's talking to them within 7 seconds, so they miss most of the information.
John 10:27 says, "My sheep listen to my voice. I know them, and they follow me."
You know, when Julie and I were preparing for this, she looked right at me after I spoke for a while and said, "What?" I guess we all have work to do in listening. But you know what? Just like learning to know God takes time and focus and to know His voice, it's going to take time and focus to really get to know our spouse and to really start enjoying and loving marriage.
If you have any questions or would like further information about the Joy of Marriage Ministry, please go to jomconference.com.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too, and that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers. We are normal people just like you. But our part-time service in the Army National Guard means we get to be more. When our communities are in need, we get the chance to stand up and do something about it. We get to serve in our own region and help the people we call neighbors. Whether they are in the mountains of New Mexico, the plains of Nebraska and Kansas, the ranches of Oklahoma and Texas, the farmlands of Missouri and Arkansas, or the bayous of Louisiana, we are here for our hometowns. And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the New Mexico Army National Guard. Aired by the New Mexico Broadcasters Association and this station.
Sure, we have 30 seconds to tell you that drivers who switch to Progressive could save big. But then what? Well, we could try to fill the remaining time with awkward pauses. It's often done for comedic effect. Is it working? I can't tell if this is funny. Maybe this is so bad it's funny. Wow, we really peaked at the save big when you switched to Progressive part. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
This whole wall needs to be shelving, too. This is a focal point in our restaurant.
Leilani's new restaurant will have the largest wine cellar in the city.
She needs a robust sommelier with notes of procurement manager.
3 sections for France? I mean, this is the biggest...
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. 7% of American adults, roughly 16.4 million Americans, believe that chocolate milk comes from brown cows. We don't know if they asked them where strawberry milk comes from. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 8:56. Next hour, stay tuned. It'll be Sean and I just chit-chatting and shooting the breeze, talking about stuff as we do. So we'll have that for you next hour. Vitalant has released their January 2022 blood drive calendar. For folks here in Roswell, your first opportunity to donate in Roswell will be on Friday, January 14th. They're going to have a blood drive at the Vitalant office from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. If you'd like to get on the schedule for that date, call or text Stephanie with Vitalant at 575-840-8178 to get scheduled. Again, that number is 575-840-8178. For folks in Carlsbad and Artesia, you don't have to wait as long. Tomorrow, they're going to have a blood drive in Carlsbad. They're going to take the Bloodmobile out to Carlsbad Medical Center from 1 p.m. until 5 p.m. That's tomorrow in Carlsbad. If you're in that area, would like to donate blood, again, call or text Stephanie, 575-840-8178. Again, that's 575-840-8178. Folks in Artesia, your first blood drive of 2022 will be taking place at Central Valley Electric this Thursday, January 6th. It's going to be in the Jack Case Community Room. That will be from 11 a.m. until 3 p.m. Again, 11 to 3 at Central Valley Electric this Thursday, January 6th. Once again, if you're interested in scheduling a time to donate blood during that event, call or text Stephanie, 575-840-8178, 575-840-8178. They also have blood drives in Carlsbad at United Way of Eddy County on Tuesday, January 11th. They'll be at Hotel Artesia on Wednesday, January 13th. Like I said, the 14th will be their first one in Roswell. Then they'll be back in Roswell on Tuesday, January 18th. Once again, back at the Vitalant office in the gym. Then later in the month, around the 20th, 25th, they're going to have Church on the Move is going to be hosting a blood drive. Chavez County Admin Building is going to have the Bloodmobile there on the 25th. The Vitalant office will host another blood drive on the 25th as well. And then there's a couple other dates in Artesia and Carlsbad for the rest of the month too. So get out there and donate blood. It's an easy way. I know we talk about, I've mentioned this a bunch, but looking to do more things, get involved, help others in the community. An easy way to do that is get on the regular, donating blood every month or so. And it's real easy. It's easy to do, and it's not that intimidating. People get really scared about it, and we overhype it in our head. Trust me, I didn't like needles either. Now I've been poked and prodded so many times, doesn't matter. All right, it is closing in on 9 o'clock. Town Hall News up next. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. Hundreds of motorists stranded all night in snow and freezing temperatures on I-95 in Virginia, with authorities struggling to reach them. Julie Walker reports.
A tractor-trailer that lost control and jackknifed set off a chain reaction involving other trucks behind it, according to authorities. I-95 North was hit the hardest. Truck driver Emily Slaughter was on I-95 South when she got stuck in the standstill.
We literally, in that 5 hours, I think maybe went half a mile.
She says people were running out of food and water.
I saw people get out and walk their dog. I saw people stretching. The gentleman in front of us asked the car next to him for a charger. So he went and charged it and then gave it back to him. People getting out and looking.
I'm Julie Walker.
Also at townhall.com, former Theranos CEO Elizabeth Holmes convicted on 4 counts of fraud and conspiracy.
Elizabeth Holmes convicted on 2 counts of wire fraud, 2 counts of conspiracy to commit fraud in a federal trial that took some 3 months, including a week of her own testimony about her failed company, Theranos, once valued at billions of dollars. Its big idea, a simple finger prick blood sample that could be scanned for hundreds of diseases. The thing is, it didn't work. Holmes was acquitted on 4 charges, and the jury failed to reach a verdict on 3 others. Legal experts say it's not likely that she will receive the maximum sentence of 20 years on each charge. I'm Tim McGuire.
AT&T and Verizon now say they will delay new 5G wireless service for 2 weeks. The companies say it's delaying the launch after a request from Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg and concern about possible interference with systems on board planes. The Dow had 265 points, but the Nasdaq is down 267. More at townhall.com.
Your pets have the same energy they used to? Do they have problems with itching, scratching, a dull coat, or goopy ears? Then your pets need Dinovite.
DINOVITE.com.
For over 20 years, pet owners have trusted Dinovite to supplement their pet's diet.
We started Dinovite, and in our first box, we noticed a difference.
Dinovite is an all-natural daily supplement made from whole foods that help support your pet's immune system, digestion, skin, and coat.
Within 3 weeks, he's not scratching and itching, and he's an all-around happier dog.
Today's commercial pet foods are processed at high temperatures, which bakes out all the essential goodness. These processed foods can lack the essential vitamins, enzymes, and probiotics that contribute to overall good health. Adding a scoop of Dinovite to your pet's food bowl is the answer.
If you love your pets as much as I do, you'll want to do what's best for them to live long, healthy, happy lives. I have 2 cats and 2 dogs. All 4 of them are on the Dinovite.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
DINOVITE.com.
Israel is the target of accusations tying it to an infamous form of government. The latest from the Media Line's Felice Friedson.
Israeli officials are bracing for an onslaught of accusations in international forums that the Jewish state is an apartheid state. Foreign Minister Yair Lapid told reporters on Monday that the strategy of Israel's enemies will be to seek to block the state's participation in sporting and cultural events. Such a move would validate the campaign while creating political disunity in the already tenuous government of Prime Minister Naftali Bennett. Increased pressure on the International Criminal Court is also expected, creating the possibility that travel to those nations who are part of the ICC could become off limits to Israeli political and military figures as a practical result of its findings. I'm Felice Friedson, Town Hall News, Jerusalem.
News and analysis at themedialine.org and townhall.com. A grim picture for shooting deaths in Chicago last year.
Officials say more people were shot to death in Chicago and surrounding Cook County in 2021 than in any other year on record. The county medical examiner's office says there were 1,002 gun-related homicides last year in Cook County that includes Chicago and its surrounding suburbs. That was 121 more than the previous mark set in 2020 and nearly twice as many as the year before that. The numbers come out 2 days after police in Chicago announced that the nation's 3rd largest city recorded its most homicides in a quarter century. I'm Shelley Adler.
A Marine Corps panel convening to decide if Lieutenant Colonel Michael J. Regner should be discharged over the sinking of an amphibious assault vehicle in the ocean off Southern California that killed 9 service members. That was one of the deadliest Marine training accidents in decades. More on these stories at townhall.com. I'm John Scott.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Christian Viernos.
Of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Yeah, Tanner stands or something.
I was going to say, he goes overheaded with it.
Yeah, he goes over the top.
He likes it like Michael Buffer, like drops down from the ceiling.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages.
Yeah, he probably would have liked our old mic stands better.
Oh, yeah, the drop downs.
Yeah.
The squeaky ones.
Yeah. Got the grease.
What do you mean old mic stands, Mike? Because I'm still using the old mic stands.
Yeah, they're in your...
Yeah, the mic booms in my office are the overheads.
Yeah, I got the fancy TV ones.
I just really want to say, for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble. Every time you have a drop down mic, you want to do the thing.
Now that you owe Buffer like $100.
I know. I totally. We're gonna get flagged. That's gonna flag us for copyright. Nice.
But happy Tuesday, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you're all doing well. Just to put a button on tired of talking about Washington football team's new name.
Mm-hmm.
I did learn a little bit of Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, did a little boopity-boop research?
Yeah. If you type www.washingtonadmirals.com, it takes you to the current Washington football team website.
So you're thinking, based on the Mike Winters sleuthing system, Washington Admirals. Now, did you try any other names?
I did. I tried Commanders, did not work.
Okay, I'm curious, like because ahead of a big change like this, a company will usually buy several different domains.
And I thought that, so I said, let me go Washington Commanders.
Okay.
That did not work.
What
that came up
what
dead.
about what was the other one? Red Wolves?
Well, they said they're not doing the red, and I think it's because of the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Oh,
why? Because I think the Timberwolves have locked down any wolf variation, and so Washington would have to pay some coinage to get Red Wolves. And
so Red Dogs.
Well, I don't think it's. I think they want something that kind of associates with the city.
Okay, fair enough. I thought we were talking about what was it, Red Tails or something like that?
That's the one I like, but the Red Tail Society or Society,
right?
They are very protective of the Red Tails.
They want to strap it to a winning team. No, I understand.
And I heard that they are willing to let Washington use the name, but they wanted a lot of control there,
like the logo, and
Dan Snyder, he ain't wanting nobody telling nothing about nothing. So I think that's what puts that one out of the running.
Yeah,
I personally would like that one. To me, that is a beautiful name. It's and I know a lot of people. We're going to get a lot of jokes about your tails and kicked and all. Yes, maybe. But the people were honoring what it fits DC in its vibe. And I ain't gonna lie, I thought it'd be cool to see flyovers of P-51 Mustangs with the red tails.
That'd be pretty sick, yeah.
And this team comes onto the field and you hear like this roaring engine as they come. I thought that would be kind of a cool, homage to the red tails and be a cool football thing as well.
So Admirals.
That's that came up.
Okay.
When you went, if you type in WashingtonAdmirals.com, it takes you to the Washington football team's website. So
Washington Rear Admirals, they're setting themselves up already.
Here's my first thing. They're not changing the color. It's going to be burgundy and gold. I don't feel Admirals as colors that fits. Like, I don't see uniforms as Admirals. Now they've here's what they've done. They've been doing this, like, making the brand series where they have these YouTube videos. And they issued the finale today with talking about the 2nd of February is the date they're going to release the name. But they in there eliminate the Wolves and Red Wolves because they say
it's because of trademark issues. I've further looked online, and it looks like it's the Minnesota Timberwolves is where they ran into the problems with that. That's where they started running into trademark problems when the Timberwolves have gone all over it. A lot of people keep saying Commanders, probably. I mean, and there's going to be stars on the uniform. They showed like not the full uniform, but like pieces of it, and it's the burgundy and gold, but there are stars on it. And on the helmet, they show the helmet, but they blur it out. It's burgundy with the yellow stripe, but then there's a yellow logo on the side. But whatever it is, it's something like that's moving forward. Like
okay, so
like it's got a tail of not like an animal tail, but like a flaming tail,
like speed lines.
Yeah.
Okay.
So whatever it is, it's yellow and it's got like something moving forward.
So there's already a Generals, right?
Not in the NFL. I don't know if there's an organization called the Generals somewhere.
Because I feel like the Washington Generals works really well.
Well, yeah, and I want to say there was a USFL team or something that was the Washington Generals or something like that.
Okay.
And
because I'm thinking
there's also the
yellow logo or the gold logo on the side, I'm thinking maybe like stars, like 5 stars.
Well, yeah, maybe.
Or 4 stars.
Stars aren't probably the best symbol to put on a Washington football team's helmet, considering our arch rivals, the Dallas Cowboys.
Fair enough.
So that might take.
But you guys are doing more stars. So
there's stars on the uniform. Like they showed like around the collar or something.
It's like that 1984 double plus good thing.
Yeah. Now I don't know. There was 3 stars, and it was around the collar somewhere on the jersey. So I don't know. That could also. Someone said 3 stars. Maybe that has nothing to do with the logo. 3 stars represents 3 Super Bowl wins.
Maybe.
I don't know. But you're going to have add stars, I'm hoping. That's the idea, right, is to get more of those. So I don't know if that's going to be a thing. And then, of course, the video shows a lot of reactions, and they hit all the right people in D.C. Like, if you want to appeal to Washington fans, get Joe Gibbs' opinion on it. And, of course, Joe Gibbs is all excited. Doug Williams, they got his opinion on it. Of course, he's part of the organization.
Nancy Pelosi, they asked her.
And then, of course, Riverboat Ron Rivera.
Of course,
they got his reveal, and they were all, as expected, going, "Oh, this is great. This is, but they have, because there's 2 Washington football players that are part of the organization in the scouting department, and that's who they have in the video. It's Doug Williams and Martin Mayhew. Martin Mayhew was back when we were winning Super Bowls, back in the glory days. He was on our defense back then. So
I see.
But so I don't know. But I just found it interesting that if you typed in WashingtonAdmirals.com, it took you to Washington football team's website. So
yeah, could be.
I mean, that's a pretty good clue,
So are there like official like odds makers taking like over-unders on this?
I'm sure. I haven't looked for it, but I'm sure I'm sure you could bet on it in
Throw
Vegas
some money
somewhere.
down. Put a pony on it.
On Admirals or Commanders or whatever is out there. Defenders. Defenders is another one. Defenders was the name of the XFL team they had.
Oh, okay.
That actually
Which is
got
coming
popular.
back, by the way.
Yeah, under USFL, I think.
Is it?
I think it's under USFL. I don't think it's XFL anymore.
Well, no, because I heard the Rock and a bunch of different other people purchased the rights to XFL. So
but I think
returning
I think it's going into USFL territory.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
I think
new.
that's what it's go. But it's all that. And I think the Washington Defenders are one of the teams coming back.
Huh.
So I don't
USFL
see them
2022?
naming. I don't see them naming the Defenders the team. That'd be kind of
The
weird.
United States Football League is a planned professional American football league scheduled to start in April 2022. It was first announced June 2021 that the league will have the same name as the defunct league, which was founded in 1982 and played 3 seasons from 1983 through 1985. Huh.
Does it say anything about merging the XFL teams into it?
It doesn't, no. So I'm wondering
Okay.
if XFL is also launching.
Maybe.
But
it's two
check
different.
this out. But apparently, what you need to know for USFL in 2022, NBC joins Fox. So they actually have broadcast.
Yeah, they're going to
rights.
air it. I remember seeing commercials for it over the weekend.
Wow.
During the playoff games, they were saying, they're going to air some of these games on NBC.
So let's see what happens when I search XFL 2022. Official home, late February draft for the XFL.
Maybe it's 2 different leagues altogether.
What the late... Okay, maybe. This is from the XFL newsroom. What the late February draft means for the USFL 2022 timeline. So
that sounds like it's two different leagues.
It does. I'm going to xfl.com, and yeah, it says they're still XFL, as far as I can tell.
Interesting. I thought they were kind of merging or something, but that's interesting. They think they can support two leagues. They really had trouble getting one going. XFL, in all fairness, was starting to get some legs, and then COVID hit and killed it.
Mm-hmm.
USFL, well, they've run that into the ground.
So I'm curious, will Donald Trump buy a team?
Like he did when the USFL?
For the old USFL?
I don't know.
His was the New York, what was his team?
Was it Admirals or something?
It was something like that, yeah.
I just feel like Admirals have been used a lot in arena football or XFL or one of those type deals. Admirals.
Well, I mean,
I know it's been a minor league hockey name. I know I've seen Admirals somewhere as a minor league hockey team name.
Let's see. Washington, no. I'm going to keep Googling, so why don't you give us the rundown?
Well, let's do that. Well, the rundown's it. We're going to chit-chat this hour.
This is it.
So we're going to chit-chat and all that. So nothing new or exciting.
New Jersey Generals.
So I was close.
You were close.
I was close.
Yeah. In August 1984, the USFL voted to move from a spring to fall schedule in 1986 to compete directly with the NFL. This was done at the urging of New Jersey Generals majority owner Donald Trump and a handful of other owners as a way to force a merger between the leagues. As part of the strategy, USFL filed an antitrust lawsuit against the National Football League in 86. A jury ruled the NFL had violated anti-monopoly laws. However, in a victory in name only, the USFL was awarded a judgment of just $1, which under antitrust laws was tripled to $3. Ooh. Yeah, this court decision effectively ended the USFL's existence. The league never played its planned 1986 season, and by the time it folded, it lost over $163 million. $389 million by today's dollars.
Wow.
So that $3 didn't help out.
So they just got out of debt and they're going to bring the league back. That was going. Yep. Well, yeah, I'm that's great. I just don't see how they're both going to survive.
Yeah.
Especially if they're all pulling from the same pool of talent players. You know, granted, I know there's a lot of college players that don't see past college. Maybe this gives opportunities for some of those folks. But I don't know. And I'm guessing the NFL is going to use both leagues as some kind of farm system.
Probably.
You know, I mean, that's, kind of, I mean, right now what they got is the CFL, the Canadian Football League, which that tried to make a run in the United States. That got beaten back.
Whatever happened to arena football?
I think it's still around.
Is it?
Yeah. It kind of surges. Okay. Yeah, I think Bon Jovi's still got a team there.
So there's still options.
I think for Gene Simmons owned a team there a while. I guess they're still around.
Professional players.
I think COVID killed them too. Like that kind of shut things down for them too. Arena league, because Albuquerque had a team.
Really?
Yeah, I think they've got a football. They do have an arena football team.
Really?
Yeah, Albuquerque's got one.
I did not know that.
I think they're still around. They were like just in the last year. I thought I've heard something about them.
Huh? I did not know that.
Yeah. I don't know what they're called. I don't remember what they're called or anything.
Let's see. The Duke City Gladiators.
There it is.
I'll be darned.
There it is. Duke City Gladiators.
Professional indoor football team. Yeah. Began to play in March of 2015. Wow. It's a cool logo, too.
Okay. So they've been around a while.
It's the Zia with a Gladiators helmet. That's actually a really cool logo. It's teal for the Zia. That's a cool logo.
I like it. I guess they're no good. Are they any good? I haven't heard nothing about them.
I haven't heard a thing about
them. Are they still playing, or was that are defunct already?
Let's see. Well, they still have an official website. 26. Yeah, Indoor Football League 2020 to present.
Good deal. Mm-hmm. Good. I thought I saw something on TV about the Duke City Gladiators.
Where do they play? Rio Rancho Event Center.
Oh, there you go. So with the hockey and all that.
Huh. I didn't even know that was a place. I got to go over to the West Side more often.
Oh, the Santa Ana Star Center?
No, the Rio Rancho Event Center. Is that the Santa Ana Star? Oh, it is.
Same place,
so
right?
they changed the name to the Rio Rancho Event Center.
Okay, yeah I thought it was like, I think it's the same place.
Wow. Well, they built it up.
Well, good.
Nice.
Well, that was the whole plan. Rio Rancho is one of those planned communities where, like, they built that out in the middle of nowhere.
It was built off the Intel plant.
And the idea is to build houses and infrastructure up to it. And like I think, and I don't know if it's still the case, but I remember 10, 15 years ago, you drive out there and you had to drive like 15 miles to go pay your water bill because that's where the city hall was.
We
We
used to live in Rio Rancho, and it was actually
you have some knowledge.
It was actually like, I don't want to say like around the time that it started, but Intel had been there for probably like a decade beforehand.
Okay.
So there was some establishment there, but it was, like you said, very sparse.
Yeah.
I remember the place we lived. So it was off of, you go down 528 and it was off of Sunt to Pumice Loop. We had a house, and right behind our backyard was this massive arroyo. I mean, massive. Like, it went for like 2 miles this way, another mile, and it was just, we used to go back there and play all the time.
The arroyo?
In the arroyo,
even though they tell you not to?
Exactly. Well, okay. So it was the arroyo, but then it was also this gigantic. You've driven down 528 on the west side, right? How it's that gigantic downslope hill. So it was that hill, but it was a huge like dirt mountain essentially. So we'd climb all up and down that. We'd actually go up that to get to the town proper, because we were in like the suburb area, and to get to where they had like we would go to like Target. It was, I think, just like over the hill. And so you'd have to walk, it's like a half a mile just to get to like any business area.
Okay.
Same thing with the townships, like the town aspect of it too. You'd have to like drive way in and way over to get to like the city hall area and all that. So
gotcha.
it was very, very spread out. But you go back now,
it's all
that
built
entire like desert behind our house is like apartment complexes and homes, and it's been leveled off, and it's kind of sad.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you mentioned that. When I went back to Maryland, Virginia, and all that, when we went, my brother lives in Lorton, Northern Virginia. My aunt and my sisters live in Southern Maryland, Calvert County. My aunt lives in St. Mary's County on the water, like down in what would be Hollywood, Maryland, which is, if you've heard of Patuxent River, Naval Air Station, Solomon's Island, it's in that ballpark is where they live. I know that doesn't mean a lot to most people, but
Solomon's Island, I think, is a relatively known landmark.
Yeah, I think so too. Anyway, so we drove, but to get from Northern Virginia, you got to take. We took away where we went through Waldorf, which is my hometown where I grew up, and mostly I was born in. Hospital doesn't exist anymore in Cheverly, Maryland, PG Hospital. They ripped it down. There's a new PG Hospital, but it's now in Landover, Maryland, where the Capitals used to play.
Okay.
The same location where the Caps and the Bullets played back in the day before they tore that stadium down and moved them to D.C. Again, not that most people care about that, but that's what it is. But I grew up in Waldorf, in Charles County. That's from like 8 years old till I left the nest. So we drove through that area, and it's been a few years since I've been through that area, and it looks different yet the same all at the same time. It's like you drive down and you're like, oh, yeah, we used to do this here and go here to here, and some of the neighborhood is like the same. Like you drive down the neighborhood, the houses, some are even the same colors and things, but the wildlife is so much more mature.
Right.
And that's where it looks so different. You know, when we first moved in that neighborhood in, I think it was 1980, I want to say 81, we were like the third house in that neighborhood.
Okay.
There was the model homes, our house, and like two others. And that was it. And then, of course, they built up over the years and things. But it was pretty much all swampland. And so they planted trees and, kept. And so... a lot of those trees and stuff now are all mature. The grass is growing, and so it looks much more older neighborhood now than it used to.
That's one of those things that I haven't really had a chance to like see a tree when it was planted when I was a kid. Go back and like see it as a full tree. I haven't had one of those, but I can kind of see where you're coming from. I've now reached that point where I've become my dad in that I will drive around like to my kids, and they could care less, and I'll be like, that used to be a Tasty Freeze, So
it's big time doing that.
If you drive down 2nd Street, because that was my old haunt, my old stomping ground. Everything is different over there.
And so I had a bit of that when we went through, and it's like, oh, where'd that go-kart track?
I remember when this was a Sonic.
Is that still here? And there was a little bit of bitterness on things that we wanted when we were as kids growing up that are now there.
Oh, yeah.
Were like a big one's an ice skating rink. Like, I had to drive 30 to 40 minutes to go to an ice skating rink to play. And this was like 6 in the morning, midnight, whenever. Now they have a hockey rink in my town, and it's very popular. They have leagues. They had all the stuff I had to travel to do. They can literally stumble out their house and go up the street and do it now. And that was like, dang, that would have been real handy. And the other weird flex that I always wanted that now it doesn't matter, but a Best Buy. We never had a Best Buy. And I was like, we had Circuit City, we had Kmart, we had Walmart, but we didn't have Best Buy. And I was like, because you had to drive all the way to PG County to go to hit a Best Buy. And I'm like, and growing up in Maryland, you don't want to drive into PG County very often if you don't have to. It's not the most safer of neighborhoods there. But anyway, and so now they have a Best Buy. Now they got everything too. They got a Hooters. They got your hoops on. They got all that now. It's all, it's like Lubbock, where it's all capitalized, commercialized and everything else. But yeah, it was that thing you're talking about. All right, I haven't done weather. I haven't done commercials. I haven't done nothing. We just started talking. So let's do this. It's 9:27. Let's go ahead and get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We have high pressure in place, so things look fair for the next couple of days and pretty comfortable temperatures. And then we have another cold front that'll be cooling things off on Thursday. No rain or snow expected for the next few days. Mid-60s and sunshine today. Down to 30 and clear for the overnight hours. And then we're looking at mid-60s and sunshine again on Wednesday. Only 50 on Thursday. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 33 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 45%. Winds currently out of the north at 3 miles per hour. Pleasant today. Sunny skies. 67 are high expected today with north winds 5 to 10 this morning. This afternoon, they're going to shift to the west, pick up 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, clear skies with an overnight low of 30 degrees. Winds will be out of the northwest, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Free Wednesday, sunny. Highs mid-60s once again, right around 64 degrees. Winds will be out of the northwest, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow night, clear skies, overnight low of 28 degrees. Winds out of the southwest, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Thursday is going to be cooler. We're talking near 50, 49-ish is what they're saying. Sunny, high of 49. North winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Thursday night, mostly clear with an overnight low of 23 degrees. We'll be back into the mid-60s for Friday. Sunny skies, a high of 64. Friday night, right at the freezing mark under clear skies. And then Saturday, we'll warm back up to near 70. Sunny, 69, 70 is what they're saying. And then we're going to drop again on Sunday back down to a high of 56. So back down into the mid-50s. And then we'll be about mid-54, mid-50s once again for Monday of next week. All right, it is 9:29. Let's go ahead and take about a 4.5-minute commercial break, and then we'll be back on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Have you been dealing with stress or anxiety lately? Don't let that stop you from getting the dental work done that you know needs to happen. Hi, this is Dr. Sarah Usher with Carabelli Dental, and every day we help people just like you have a relaxing and pain-free experience with IV sedation. Just imagine a dental experience where you don't remember the needles or the drills. If that's what you're looking for, we can help. Let us ease your stress and create the best dental experience ever.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental at the corner of 9th and Main or call 622-4455.
Today we're going to give you the 5th key to a great marriage, taken from Drs. Les and Leslie Perot. Hi, this is Pastor Troy and Julie Smotherman for The Joy of Marriage. The 5th key is commitment. Living the love you promised.
Galatians 6:9 says, "And let us not get tired of doing what is right, for after a while we will reap a harvest of blessing if we don't get discouraged and give up." You know, one of the keys to commitment is just deciding in your heart, I'm never giving up on God, I'm never giving up on my marriage, I'm never giving up on my family.
Commitment is a promise made and kept by two imperfect people. It's good for our kids to see that problems happen and we're committed to solving them together.
If you want all 5 keys to a great marriage, you can go to our website at jomconference.com.
Pecans are a big deal here in Chaves County. We have some of the biggest orchards in the country, and lots of us have pecan trees in our yards. Hi, this is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company. Whether you have one pecan tree or 1,000 of them, this time of year, every pecan tree needs fertilizing. So come see us at Roswell Seed Company, and we'll get you fixed up with the right fertilizer for your pecan trees, so that next year, your nuts will be big and beautiful. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
Wakefield Oil Company is a name you can rely on, with full service at the pump the way it used to be. You can expect service in just 15 seconds. They offer bulk fuel and oil services and even diesel exhaust fluid. Wakefield Oil Company will deliver to farms, ranches, dairies, the oil fields, and more with dependable service you can count on. So the next time you need service or delivery, go with the name that locals have trusted since 1983. Wakefield Oil Company, 311 South Virginia in Roswell. Let them earn your business.
ENMU Roswell offers high school students the opportunity to get a head start on their college education journey into healthcare. Through the Allied Health Careers Pathway, high school learners can enroll in dual credit courses that introduce them to a wide range of careers that include emergency medical technician, paramedic, nursing, occupational therapy, respiratory therapy, medical assisting, phlebotomy, and nursing assistant. Start your healthcare career path at ENMU Roswell. Contact your high school counselor for more information.
Roswell is our home. That's why we've all got to do our part to stop illegal dumping. Throwing your trash, clutter, or yard debris in the alleys, sidewalks, or streets is a crime, and it takes time and money to clean it up. Those caught dumping illegally can face fines of up to $500. You can help by taking your waste to the landfill once a month for free with a paid water bill. Call the City of Roswell Solid Waste Department for more information at 575-624-6746. Help keep Roswell clean. After all, do you want your kids to grow up in a dump?
When I'm ready for new furniture, I don't want to wait for it. I go to Glenn's Furniture, where everything is ready for immediate delivery. Beautiful power reclining furniture, gorgeous dining room sets and bedroom sets, and the world's most comfortable mattresses. Glenn's has the quality furniture I'm looking for at the best prices around, in stock and ready to go home. So don't wait around. Hurry to Glenn's Furniture at the corner of Union and Alameda, delivering for free since 1953.
As part of the ongoing effort to keep the roads of New Mexico safe, we would like to share a list of things you should never attempt behind the wheel of your automobile.
Texting your friends, wrestling your friends, eating a sandwich, making a sandwich, hugging your kids, buckling your kids, brushing your hair, brushing your teeth, flossing your teeth, adjusting your seat, rubbing your feet, reading the paper, using a shaver, applying makeup,
You get
applying
the
to
point.
college.
A large number of car crashes occur when the driver is doing something other than driving. Drive safe, New Mexico.
Paid for by the New Mexico Department of Transportation and aired in cooperation with the NMBA and the station.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. During your lifetime, you'll produce enough saliva to fill 2 swimming pools. Spit out this bit of information at your next pool party. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is closing in on 9:34. I got to ask Sean something. I'll wait till he gets back to do that because I just saw something on Facebook that I'm kind of curious about. And I'm just kind of wondering if that's a thing still because I bailed on a while ago, but I'll wait till he gets back in here and I'll ask him about that. Couple things want to mention. If you want to, keep up to date on basketball right now, I believe we don't have any games on the schedule to maybe this weekend. They've got some road trips that are going on, but all of our high school sports for the Roswell Coyotes and Goddard Rockets, when we come to the basketball and stuff, we carry video. You'll find it at ksvptv.com. We put football on the radio. Basketball we won't, or volleyball when we we didn't do, but basketball. A lot of that will mostly be video only. I think that will change when it comes to playoff time, state playoffs. Then we'll put a couple of those games on the radio. Hopefully we've got a bunch to put on. That would be a good thing to have as Goddard and Roswell both participating in state playoffs, and for boys and girls, that would be what we'd like to see. And of course, we'll have some of that for you on the radio. But in the meantime, they're doing games of the week, things like that at ksvptv.com. Just click on the respective high school's channel. There's a Roswell Coyotes channel, a Goddard Rockets channel. You click on whichever one you want to watch, and there she is for you to check out at your leisure. And it's on demand too. So if you missed, say, some of the actually Pokhorn, if you want to see anything for Pokhorn, there's its own separate Pokhorn tournament channel that you can go back and watch those games from the Pokhorn you can check out whenever you get a chance. Or some folks like to. I'm not one of those people, but I guess there is a lot because there's a whole ESPN Classic channel that does nothing, and I've seen other people do it, but I don't quite get it. Is watching like reruns of old games and things like that. I mean, I'm a sports fan. I like watching sports as much as the next guy. I have my favorites, and like I'm not a basketball guy. I've never been into basketball, so I don't watch a lot of basketball. I have two sports I watch pretty regular, and it's hockey and football, NFL football. I'm not even a big college football guy because I don't know. I think it's because where I grew up. I really do. If I grew up in a place like here, or where college football, or Texas, or someplace where college football is much more in demand as far as a general public stand for, I'd probably be more into college football. But it's just not in the D.C. area. It's Redskins or whatever it's going to be. But growing up, it was Redskins. We didn't even have the Colts. The Colts left Baltimore when I was a kid. And they weren't really on my radar anyway. I lived closer and grew up closer to D.C., so I was always a Washington Redskins fan. The only Baltimore team I rooted for, and still is sort of to this day, is the Orioles. And I mean, I've kind of switched my allegiance to the Nationals, although I'm a passing baseball fan. Baseball, when things get heated, I watch it. Other than that, I could care less. Unless I'm going to a baseball game, like sitting in the stands and buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks and doing that whole nine. I don't care about baseball either. I love going to the games and having a good time, but to get me to sit at home and watch a baseball game on TV, especially one that's not like playoffs or World Series about a team that I care about, i.e. the Nationals or the Orioles, then I really don't care about baseball. Like when the Nats made their run and won the World Series in, was it 2017, 2018, whatever that was, I was kind of watching for a minute. I was like, oh, yeah, Scherzer and all that good stuff. They're in a rebuild, so I have not followed the Nats that closely. I'm a fair weather fan for those other sports. That's just the term for basketball, baseball. But Caps, I'm pretty on board with Caps. 20. I'm always keeping. I don't watch as many games as I'd like to because I'm married and there's just too many games to do that too. But I try to catch them when they're on. I don't buy center ice or any of the add-on packages to watch the games. But if there's a Caps game on a Saturday or something, I'm tuning in. I'm watching it, and obviously playoffs. I'm in for all of that. But I just don't care about the other sports. So I don't really watch them. But I think that's why college football just isn't that big on my radar. Because we have colleges in that area, but really they're not known for football. Maryland Terrapins. But growing up, when I grew up in Maryland, the Terrapins stunk. They were never good at football. They were great at lacrosse. You want to find a top-tiered college for lacrosse, University of Maryland's it. But football, that program's gotten bigger, and since I moved away, they're still not the greatest. But really, that was it in the D.C. area. Georgetown University is basketball school. I don't even think have a matter of fact, they're a law school. The only athletes they got, I think, are the basketball team. The rest are all kind of be lawyers. George Mason, that's a smaller school. Virginia Tech and University of Virginia, those are big football schools, but they're not really the D.C. area. They're more Richmond. That's 100 miles south of us. That's not really D.C. area. So, but that's it for big football in that area in college. It just isn't. Everything else is. Now we got some basketball. Maryland's can be decent at they've had decent years of basketball. Georgetown, George Washington, these are all basketball schools, but not so much football. So I didn't really grow up watching football. And in high school, football was nothing like it is here. Certainly not like Artesia, not even like Roswell. No one. Our high school football team had a blurb in the Maryland Independent on a Saturday morning in the box scores. That was about it for coverage of high school. There occasionally would be in the sports section, they'd have a story about one school beating another, but that was it. There was no coverage. Certainly wasn't on a radio. I could never, to be honest, I thought it was foreign concept to put high school football on the radio till I came out here. I was like, really? There's people that care about it? Oh, yeah. And there are some big high schools football teams in the D.C. area, just not in Southern Maryland. If you look at like Remember the Titans, that movie, that's a D.C. area. You know, the schools they're talking about, DeMatha and you know, was it TC? What I don't remember what school it was, but those are big football high schools, and those kids go special to those schools. Like I don't know all the criteria, but you know, kids that want to pursue football, they tend to end up at DeMatha in these kind of high schools in that area because those have programs that kind of set the trail for them to pursue college and then, for some cases, an NFL career. But for the most part, that's it. The D's here. I mean, our high school, the Cougars, we stunk. I think one year we won our district, like junior, senior year. But other than that, we were unremarkable at best. So, but you know, another one that's kind of funny. Speaking of high school sports, and this one I talked about with my wife while we were back visiting in Maryland. A sport that's very popular there, that is pretty much unheard of here, is field hockey. Field hockey is very popular in Maryland, in that area. Field hockey now, in high school, and I'm not sure if it's still the case, but when I was in high school, and I think it still is the case, field hockey was only for women. Men were not, that's not a men's sport. You can't play field hockey for men. Now, I know men play field hockey because I remember going down to D.C. all the time and go to the mall area where the Washington Monument and all that, they've got a lot of grass and big areas, and people like to kick soccer balls and stuff. But I would see players play field hockey out there, and it's usually men, you know, out there by the mall playing field hockey. So I know men play it, but as far as organized, it was always women's field hockey. And because I kind of was jelly because I was a hockey player. I didn't play football. I played hockey, but I played ice. I couldn't play field hockey because I look bad in a skirt. Just kidding. I look amazing in a skirt, but they wouldn't let me. So, so I played ice hockey, but there was no high school team or no organized. Again, I was talking about that earlier. I had to go travel. So I was jealous. I was like, hey, I'd love to have high school hockey and be able to do that here. I wouldn't have to travel and all this other stuff. But anyway, it's very popular. And my wife she didn't even know what field hockey was. And I had to explain, you know, what it was. She's like, hockey's like, yeah, kind of. But think of hockey and polo kind of combined together because it's a heavier ball. They use a stick that's a hockey stick, but it's not like a ice hockey stick. It looks more like a mallet, like a croquet or polo mallet, but it's got a hook like a hockey stick. And then the players run and try to whack the ball to each other and then score in a goal that's about the size of a ice hockey goal, roughly, give or take a foot or so. But it has a goaltender. Wears padding, not the same padding as an ice hockey goaltender, but it's got big leg pads and thicker stick and all that. And it's field hockey. It's go look it up if you've never heard of it or seen it. It's pretty cool sport. But no one plays it out here. But it's a women's sport, which I don't understand why there's not more men's leagues because I don't know the justification. Like you think of non-contact sports as what they provide for women's sports, and I would argue field hockey is a contact sport. I've watched it. I've seen it play. They're hitting. They're bumping. They're not full on body checking and tackling like hockey or football, but there's bumping and grinding and whacking, and it's a physical sport, and I'm just surprised that they don't offer it to men in more places. But I was kind of like, hey, let's, I'm sure we could. I would play. I mean, it's really polo but running, kind of. Maybe that's it. We're like, well, we'll just stick to the horses. I don't know. It is, and I'm not even going to make a water polo joke because that's tiresome. All right, it is 9:45. Let's go ahead and pause for some local news. Sean Hannity update, your Chaves County sports update, business update, quick break as well. We'll be back. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Now for a Pecos Valley news update, I'm Jared Cirillo. Chaves County Sheriff's deputies continue investigating a shooting incident that took place just after midnight on Sunday. According to a statement on Facebook, Sheriff Mike Harrington said deputies responded to 2705 East 17th Street, east of Roswell, after learning that a man had been shot in the leg. The unnamed victim was taken to an area hospital where he is recovering today. Later in the day on Sunday, detectives located 2 suspects believed to have been involved, along with the gun believed to have been used in the crime. Both were arrested and are being held in jail. Republican State Representative Alonzo Baldonado of Los Lunas is retiring from the New Mexico legislature after a decade of advocacy for a district in central New Mexico and socially conservative causes. A spokesman for House Republicans announced Baldonado's departure on Friday in a news release. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello reporting.
Waking up on the right side. This is the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
Now Biden actually said, I wish I thought about ordering 500 million at-home tests 2 months ago. Oh, we didn't see this coming, he said. What do you mean you didn't see it coming? We just went through the Delta surge. We knew that there would be another variant that would break through. If you need a test now, good luck finding one. If you find it, please let me know where. Call and tell me where you got it, because I know people that can't get it. The federal government allocated $73 billion for COVID testing. Where are the tests? How did Joe Biden criticize Donald Trump when he was running for office? And now we ran out of tests. You couldn't get one. New York's daily COVID positivity rate now is almost 20%. I mean, that you can't make that up either.
From coast to coast, from sea to shining sea, it's the Sean Hannity Show.
You just don't vote in November. You vote every single month with the money that you spend and the companies that you spend it with. Now, if you're still a customer of one of those large, overpriced wireless carriers, well, you're also supporting the candidates and issues that they donate to. Now, you're funding a leftist agenda that they're pushing. Now, if their values do not align with yours, I've got the perfect solution, and that's Pure Talk. As I've said, Pure Talk, they use the exact same 5G network and cell towers as those companies, but with the peace of mind that you're supporting a veteran-run business with employees right here in the USA. Now, this is one monthly bill you'll be proud to pay, and by the way, it'll probably be about half of what your current cell phone bill is, because the average family saves over $800 a year. From your cell phone, just dial pound 250 and say the keyword save now, and you'll save an additional 50% off your first month. Pound 250 on your cell, keyword save now from our friends at Pure Talk. That's pound 250, keyword save now.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We have high pressure in place, so things look fair for the next couple of days and pretty comfortable temperatures. And then we have another cold front that'll be cooling things off on Thursday. No rain or snow expected for the next few days. Mid-60s and sunshine today. Down to 30 and clear for the overnight hours. And then we're looking at mid-60s and sunshine again on Wednesday. Only 50 on Thursday. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
It's time for the Chaves County Sports Report. All that stuff we told you yesterday about Dexter playing against Hagerman in Hagerman, boys-girls doubleheader, it's all true. But they're playing again tonight, so don't get confused by the schedule. Yeah, another Hagerman-Dexter boys-girls doubleheader tonight. Tonight it'll be in Dexter. Now, last night in Hagerman, Dexter defeated Hagerman in girls basketball 36-27. Hagerman didn't score in the first quarter, and Dexter scored 11. That's pretty much the difference of the ball game. In boys basketball, Hagerman blew out Dexter 60-24. Tonight, boys basketball, Goddard playing at Hobbs. Hobbs is 12-1. Roswell boys hoops playing at Lovington. Lovington is 8-3. And girls basketball, Roswell at Portales. Portales is 9-3. The sports report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
With the SRN News Business Report, I'm Greg Clugston. Apple continues to flirt with a $3 trillion market cap.
Apple stock briefly hit that milestone Monday, becoming the first company to be valued that high. It has taken just over 16 months for Apple's market valuation to rise from $2 trillion to $3 trillion. The tech giant has been one of the big winners during the pandemic, as demand for its products soared, with people depending more and more on smartphones, tablets, and laptops. Ken Lorman reporting.
Ford Motor Company says there's high demand for its new electric F-150 Lightning pickup trucks. The automaker says it plans to nearly double annual production from 80,000 to 150,000 per year at its electric vehicle factory located in Dearborn, Michigan. With the SRN News Business Report, I'm Greg Clugston.
Times are changing, and today's funerals aren't always the sad and solemn events you might expect. This is Gabriel Casaus from Lagrone Funeral Chapel. Along with hymns and scriptures, today's funeral services are often filled with fish stories, country songs, and a joke or two, golf clubs and hot rods, favorite recipes, and kitchen disasters. At Lagrone Funeral Chapel, we believe a funeral should reflect your loved one's personality, passion, and sense of humor. When you lose a loved one, we're here, because at Lagrone Funeral Chapel and Crematory, we make it personal.
900 South Main, Roswell.
What does paying 33 cents a day for health insurance sound like? Yeah, kind of like that. Open enrollment is on now, and you may be able to get health insurance for 33 cents a day. And as New Mexico's health insurance marketplace, Be Well NM makes finding health insurance and signing up easy and affordable. And our services are free. Call us at 1-833-862-3935 or visit BeWellNM.com to get the assistance you need and to get insured. Because you just never know.
When I'm ready for new furniture, I don't want to wait for it. I go to Glenn's Furniture, where everything is ready for immediate delivery. Beautiful power reclining furniture, gorgeous dining room sets and bedroom sets, and the world's most comfortable mattresses. Glenn's has the quality furniture I'm looking for at the best prices around, in stock and ready to go home. So don't wait around. Hurry to Glenn's Furniture at the corner of Union and Alameda, delivering for free since 1953.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard has led to a lot of firsts for me. The education assistance I received made it possible for me to be the first person in my family to go to school and graduate debt-free. That education helped get me to the first day at my dream job, a job that I can still hold while I serve part-time. That job, plus the other benefits possible from the Army National Guard, helped me become a first-time homeowner. Also, part of my role as a National Guard soldier means I know that I can be one of the first to respond and help my community if disaster ever strikes. I'm extremely proud that I get to serve my community, and that first step I took by joining the Army National Guard has made all the difference in my life. Talk to your local recruiter or visit nationalguard.com to find out what firsts are available to you in the Army National Guard.
Sponsored by the New Mexico Army National Guard, aired by the New Mexico Broadcasters Association and this station.
Sure, we have 30 seconds to tell you that drivers who switch to Progressive could save big. But then what? Well, we could try to fill the remaining time with awkward pauses. It's often done for comedic effect. Is it working? I can't tell if this is funny. Maybe this is so bad it's funny. Wow, we really peaked at the save big when you switched to Progressive part. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
This whole wall needs to be shelving too. This is a focal point in our restaurant.
Leilani's new restaurant will have the largest wine cellar in the city. She needs a robust sommelier with notes of procurement manager.
3 sections for France? I mean, this is the biggest
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The average person spends 6 months of their lifetime waiting for a red light to turn green. Share this information with a police officer that pulls you over the next time you run a red light. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is closing in on 9:55. Got a few minutes here before we wrap up the show. You know, it's funny. I didn't mention this till now, but I think that the heat in the building is not working properly, and I love it. And you're not hearing me complain one bit. I was, and the reason I mentioned this was this morning when I got here into the building. There's not a lot of people in the building when I get here in the building, except for our main dude, Modesto. Modesto's the building manager. He kind of takes care of all the maintenance and things here in the building that we're the JPY building here. And he was telling me, he goes, is it cold in your room there? He goes, go down and see so-and-so about getting a space heater. If you need it, we'll get you heaters put in the room. There's a lot of people are freezing. They want the heaters. And I'm like, is it cold in our room? And he kind of, well, and I came in and I'm like, yeah, chilly to some, but to me, this is great. And we have, in all fairness, our room doesn't get as cold as everybody else's because we're usually right by the boiler. So we don't even turn our heat on. Everyone else's heat just permeates but see, no one else has heat. So that's not there. But we got Tanner's room is toasty warm, especially when he closes his door because it's a room full of equipment. There's tower racks of equipment and it puts off a lot of heat. So in my world, this is comfortable. I'm wearing my long sleeve light jacket. And I know Sean's freezing right now. I'm sure he's freezing. I'm actually quite comfortable. I was like, and this is great because people are like, yeah, it's cold in here. Yeah, a little cool. But I put my light jacket on and I'm perfectly comfortable. And I'm satisfied. If it's 85 degrees in here, only so many clothes can come off before I'm considered obscene. And so I'm not going to be comfortable. I can, you can make it colder. I'll just add more clothing. You might be talking to a bundled up mummy, but I can at least make myself comfortable. I can't do that when it's hot. So I will pick too cold over too hot any day and twice on Sundays. So that's my logic. So, yes, some may complain it is cold in this building. I will not be one of those people. I'm going to be full on embracing it. But I noticed earlier when I went in to turn Tanner's computers on and everything this morning, I went into his little room and he had the door closed. Roy, who was in yesterday, closed the door, I think, when he left. And when you walked in that room with it closed up, it was warm, like too warm, almost. So but he's kept his crack to let some of the heat out. But that room gets actually too warm. So yeah, I don't need the heat. Just leave that door open and it'll heat the whole building, or at least our office. I'm good with it. So I don't need the space heater. But Sean, if you'd like one, you go down and talk to him. But I don't want him because what Sean does, his move is he cranks up the heat in his room. And then he'll shut the door and then go in there. And then you walk in to see him and you could literally throw an egg on the table in there. It's that hot. But as long as he keeps it. But then what happens is then he opens his door and then all his hotness comes and makes the rest of our thing hot. So I don't want to tell him too much about heat. He can buy a sweater just like I can. They're a lot cheaper and they only make you uncomfortable or comfortable, not the rest of the world here. So that's my thought. If you missed any part of the show today, of course, we had the only really in-studio live guest we had today, Robert Sherman from the Walker Aviation Museum, joined us. If you missed that interview, you can check it out at your leisure. Just log on to ksvptv.com. Click on the Mornings with Mike Winters channel. You can check it out there. Interview we played in the 8 o'clock hour with Lori Schatz. That was from last Wednesday. It's there right now by itself. You can check it out. Just scroll down to last Wednesday and click on that page, and it'll open up the Dropbox with all the interviews from that day. You click on the one with Lori Schatz or any of the interviews that you want to check out, and away you go. So it's there at your leisure, ksvptv.com. We'll be back bright and early, 7 a.m., all-new show tomorrow. I know we're going to have, I know we're going to have the folks from the Roswell Chamber join us tomorrow. I think there's someone else on tap tomorrow, too. I don't have the schedule right in front of me. So we'll definitely have, we have a good slate of guests for you tomorrow's show. So we'll have that going back up. And, it's the beginning of the year. Things always get slow going. People, and then all of a sudden, it's kind of a hurry up and wait where it's nobody, and then everybody and their uncle wants to come on. So we're getting back to that. All right, we got to go. Have an awesome day. We'll talk to you bright and early tomorrow.
Talk radio has landed on the all-new 106.5 FM.